There are schools that are not existent.
That is what I was going to ask.
And they get capitation money. In fact, to our shock, I was talking about 16 million. Kumbe, it was even in billions.
Yeah.
Was it 5 billion?
I think they mentioned 6 billion.
6 billion.
But I want to ask...
You can imagine, those are ghost schools. Schools that are not existing.
Hey there and welcome to Fanya Mambo Africa. Super excited for this episode. I have one of the most vocal, strong, iron lady from Kiambu who's making headlines and who's shaking the political space and who's never afraid to speak her mind. And we are very happy as Alfa House to host her. We've been looking forward to this day. Karibu sana Mahesh.
Thank you, my sister. I want to be very apologetic to you because you have... reached to me severally.
Yes.
We were actually supposed to have this interview sometimes in Feb.
Well, and now we are in
August. Yeah. I have postponed it and postponed, not because really I didn't value the interview, but sometimes I keep off from, giving a lot of information in the political space because sometimes not everybody positively receives you.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to wait until the right moment when you have something to say.
Okay.
And I also want to correct you. I am not an iron lady.
You are?
I am not. I am a mother.
Mother?
I am a wife. I am a mother. A very submissive wife, by the way.
Oh, you're a wife?
I am a married woman.
Nice.
And I am one of those that enjoy my marriage. And I am loved.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I hardly would want to use iron lady title. Because, when you call yourself an iron lady, then you scare the men. And these men, they don't want any perception that will make you look like you're on top of them. And so I realized my secret in politics, for me to be able to maneuver in politics and to actually handle politics the way I do, I play the role of a woman the way it's supposed to be played. But I know my cards.
Okay.
I know when to raise my voice. I know when to open my eyes wide. I know when to... play under until I get what I want.
Beautiful.
So I run away from that title. I don't like people calling me Simba, Mama Simba, Iron Lady, those titles. You will never hear them around me.
All they call you is Made. Because I have seen your TikTok, there's a lot of Made.
I am Made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Na ukitaka nifurahi kabisa, niite wa Robert.
Robert.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice. Hey, Robert, you are well represented here. Beautiful.
Yes, without the support I've received from my husband, maybe I will not be here I am today. Because it's very difficult to run politics and run as a frontliner in politics if you don't have full support of your family, immediate family.
Okay.
And for the last 9 years, plus another 5 years, that's about 13 years, my husband has stood by my side. He's not a politician. He's never anywhere on the platforms, but he's one great supporter.
Beautiful.
And so
beautiful.
I put that one very clearly everywhere I go because I want even the women to understand that you don't have to break and disseminate and crumble your household for you to get political power. Political power can also come through a household. You don't really have to be the woman, the fighter, the real power woman for you to get political power. You can even get political power very softly and maintain that power for a long time in a very soft approach. And because I know for me, I am an aggressive person, I'm a goal-getter, so I have to train myself to not to remove the clothes all the time. So there are times I remove the clothes, there are times I pretend like I know nothing, there are times I am also broke, I have nothing. And whenever I am with my partner, I clearly know my lane. Okay, even if I have money in my handbag, I will not buy myself lunch.
Hey, women, these are soft lessons.
Yeah, these are soft lessons. I mean, even if you earn $1 million, don't go bragging and telling people I'm the one who buys him lunch, I'm the one who buys his whatever. You know you do it, but you don't have to show the world. So for me, I always have 50 bob in my bag whenever I am with my husband and my family.
That is the secret of being a woman.
So you use your femininity to get the political power without announcing a competition with men. Because I realize the minute you announce a competition with men, they will win it.
And it's not a weakness.
Anytime. Yes, it's not a weakness.
Yeah.
No. In fact, I think it's a strength. Being feminine, being a woman is actually a strength. So let's use our strength properly.
Okay.
How do you talk to a man if you want a new skirt? The way you speak to a man if you need a new weave is the same way you will speak to everybody when you need their votes.
Yeah.
Because you need their power.
Okay. And I think for many women who want to get on the political space, those are very key lessons, soft lessons.
Very soft. But I see most of the people, I see that they do the other way around. Most women, actually, the first thing they do is that I want to be an MP, so my husband cannot even allow me, so I'll go it on my own. My in-laws are not supporting me. I'll go it on my own. And then, there's no family, there is no marriage, and then you are divorcee. And then I'm not trying to say it's okay. It's not okay to divorce because you can't live in a toxic marriage.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to say women must devise a new strategy of capturing power.
Okay. And now that you've started that on the women aspect, there's something that has been going on, and we've seen across the country women being paraded and told to move around and naweza hawezi. What is your feeling about that? And is that also part of being femininity power?
No. That's actually being an object. We are being objectified in politics, and being a feminine power carrier doesn't mean that you allow yourself to become an object or a subject. And femininity is such an endowment that God has given us that carries its own power. And if you use that power, it attracts a lot of respect, by the way. It attracts a lot of respect. When I go into a meeting and I tell everybody, by the way, I'm somebody's wife. When I say that, I have already declared my boundaries. I've already given out my power. And they'll be saying, no, you can't do this to her because you can't touch her because you can't attempt this because And even in the political circles, people know. People know which woman they will hang around with, which woman you will carry in your backyard in your back boot of your car, and which woman you will not even attempt. So the minute you declare your boundaries, it comes with its power. Yes, it comes with its power. I associate myself a lot with a lot of politicians who are men, and they actually I hear them even talk, and some of them report to me, with Wamuchomba, you can't do this. With Wamuchomba, you can't attempt this. But I've never told them, don't. It's the way you present yourself.
Yeah.
It's the way you package yourself. How do you package yourself? So I said, take the femininity aspect of you, use it as your power platform, and it will work. Let me tell you, when I was planning to get into politics, I associated very closely with the Honorable Senator Beth Mugo. When she was a parliamentarian, she became an assistant minister of health. She became the minister of health. She became everything that any woman in Kenya wanted to be. And I was a bit close to her, so I used to get into her car. And sometimes we would go out for missions. I was on radio then. I used to rescue a lot of young babies who are defiled. So I used to ride a lot with her as the minister. We could go rescuing kids in Nyeri. I remember this time we went to Kirinyaga at night. And we used to chat a lot. So one day, we went with Honorable Beth to Kirinyaga. We rescued a child. We did a whole minister with a flag. And then when we were coming back, she told the driver, you need to be a little bit faster because I have to go and pick my husband. And I looked at her and I told her, what? Yeah. And she told me, yeah, I am the steward of my husband. I make sure my husband is at home on time. I drop him wherever he wants to go in the morning because he's a retired citizen. He has his day, I have my day, but when I'm going home, I have to pick him.
That's a minister.
Take him home, and that's a minister. And that really humbled me. That time I was a radio presenter, and I was riding in many numbers. I was popular. I was earning very good money. I was treated as a celeb in this country.
Yeah.
And that reduced me. I was like, oh, you mean a minister with a flag? Even if she goes wherever she's going, she has to think about her husband. She has to think about whether he has eaten, where he is, who is picking. She could have even sent a driver, go and pick him up wherever he is and take him home. No, I must go and pick my husband. And she told me, I am the steward. I have to keep watching him. I have to keep taking care of him.
Beautiful lessons.
And that gave me a serious lesson.
Wow.
Now, I am the politician that Beth was. I may not have become a minister, but I'm now the politician Beth was. It's my duty to make sure my husband has dinner. So whether I go out or wherever it is, if I am in Nairobi, I eat dinners every day with my husband. A must. Even if you host me in your house, I will not have dinner in your house. I will tell you, my husband is waiting for me to have dinner with me.
That's such
I
beautiful
don't do
love.
breakfast. I don't do breakfast with him because, like today, I woke up at 5. So I'll kiss him goodbye and that's it. And I will do my day. But dinner, even if he gets home earlier than me, he'll call me up. Are you almost? Can I shower as I wait for you? Are you coming? Is dinner, and I have to have dinner with him. That's the only time I'll share my frustrations. That's the only time I will apologize if I made a mistake. That's the only time I will connect what he's going through, because you never know what he's going through. And that's how you create a bond, a family bond. So sometimes I mess up on screen, like now. I will say something that is not right. That's the only time he will come and tell me, hey, and I think what you said is not right. And I think your association with so-and-so doesn't look good. And I think that dress you wore today was not right. And I think your hairstyle is out of place. That's the only time you'll get time to get. So I keep telling women, having political power doesn't make you a man. And that's why I ran away from Sibajike, from Mama Simba, from Iron Lady. Those titles just sell fear to men. They make you fear. They make them fear you. When I go to the village and I meet those elderly men, they will tell you, and I'm not saying this to brag, but when I was vying, I went to every village and I asked for permission from those wazees to become their MP. I went and told them, I know I am popular, I can get the votes, but without your permission, I cannot become your MP. So I used to go, have a sitting with them, and ask them to allow me to become their MP. I did not ask them to allow me to become their ruler, what we call in our community, mudhamaki. I did not ask them to allow me to wadha at them. The wadha in Kikuyu means ruling. I asked them to allow me to provide political leadership.
And you have done well
and
for
that's what I
Githunguri.
do. So every time there is a national debate, I go back to the same wazees. And I tell them, I've come. I'm your daughter. I'm your small sister. I am your wife. I'm here. What do you think I should do? They tell me, Mami, usiende hii, wachana na hii, enda hii. That is why you see me boldly saying the great people of Githunguri told me, because I consult those wazees. I consult those women. And I don't mix them. I go to the boys, I do the boys thing, the young jeshi. I go to the women, I dance their song. I go to the men, I sit in their ikaro. Ikaro is the baraza. And we speak in respect, and I do what I'm supposed to do.
Wow, that's nice.
That is what is called women leadership.
All right. Great. At least we've had an aspect of what being a woman on the political space ought to be and is for you as an experience. I wouldn't go far without asking the heart identity. Where did this come from and why? Because it's beautiful. Actually, it looks very beautiful.
Wow. Thank you very much.
Or the people of Githunguri.
No. I think, I am a media practitioner.
Yes.
I got an opportunity with all humility and in all humility to go through education. And I am a master's degree holder in journalism. Actually, I was the first group that ever got a journalism degree from University of Nairobi. Master's degree, the first group, the pioneer group. And I know the power of branding. When you're in a political public space, you need to have an identity. What do people believe you stand for? Who are you? How do you look like? And if you want to communicate any information, the power of RRR is in action. One of the R's is reputation. You have to repeat something, repeat it until people get to hear it. In branding, you also have to be consistent. How do you look? Today, you don't look like Maria Bakeba. Tomorrow, you look like Mudhoni Likimani. The other day, you look like Wangari Maathai. No. You have to have your brand. Look at Wangari Maathai. If I talk about Wangari Maathai, what image do you get in your mind?
The kitenge and
the kitenge and the hair that was
Yeah.
falling, And by the way, she had original dreads. It's only that when there was a lot of violence around her, people were pulling her dreads, so she had to cut them. And she maintained her image. That's the power of branding. So this is my brand. This is my brand.
Very
so whether I
beautiful.
put braids or I put whatever I put, my heart has to be on top.
Wow.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Now to the political.
But it doesn't mean anything.
Oh, no meaning
But
attached.
I think when people see this, they see the spirit of independence. Because I'm an independent thinker. I love doing things in my own way. When they see this, they see boldness in women. When they see the cup, they see resilience and they see intelligence. I mean, they see people who speak things from some context. And so I have seen a lot of women. Like the other day, I saw some group of women in Mombasa wearing the cap. People in Embu, I've received a lot of photos from Kirinyaga women wearing the cap. I was in Trans Nzoia and I found a whole battalion of women
with the cup.
With the cap. And when I asked them, why are you wearing the cap? They're like, we want to be like Wamuchomba. And then I asked, why? Because she's strong, she's bold, she's visible, she's against odds. And she's still the mother,
And
So there's a spirit that I'm communicating using the heart, that women are visible, women are present, women are impactful, women are people to be trusted and to be counted upon, especially when things are really thick. Yeah, so nothing much. People are asking whether this is a logo of a certain political party.
It almost looks like a West African, South Africa
No.
thing.
I just thought, and then, of course, because I'm a public figure, sometimes your hair is not well done. You don't have time to go for a comb out. Sometimes you don't have time to go for a washout. And so because you don't want to appear untidy, I decided, let me just wear my caps consistently so that when I have an off day, when things are not as good, then I am able to also cover it up.
All right.
Yeah, but today I'm good.
Yeah, you're looking.
Thank you.
It does look lovely.
Thank you.
Now, since you've said the women in Trans Nzoia, I'll just start there. What is this Kenya Moja that you, Senator Sifuna, MP of Saboti, Caleb Hamisi is inviting you to Trans Nzoia, and you're shaking ground on that side?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I am surprised. This morning, I think I've received almost 100 calls from different media houses wanting to know what is this Kenya Moja.
Yeah, we want to know.
First of all, the people you saw there, all those faces you saw there, they are minus another maybe 25 of them that were not there. It's a group of about 70 members of parliament. 70.
Young members or
yes,
just...
young members of parliament. Okay. 70 plus. It's a big group. If you listen to Funa when he was reading the names of people who supported him with some contribution, you could hear people from Lamu, people from Mombasa, people from Homa Bay. I mean, it's a big group. Now, this group is not new, by the way. It's only that we have been a bit quiet and we were watching a few things and strategizing. Mm-hmm. We started this group as ground team. If you remember last year, we had a presser we did sometimes somewhere in Kilimani.
Yes.
And we called ourselves ground team. If you look at the faces that were in Trans Nzoia, they're the same faces that were in the ground team presser, if you remember. And I was the convener, me and Babu Owino.
Yes.
We were the convener of the ground team. And we started getting some pressure from political party leaders. Our party leaders. Now, I come from Kenya Kwanza, Babu is from ODM, and we had others from Wiper and others from other parties. And we decided, let us first of all allow these party leaders to see how far they will go. And we decided, let us watch. And we have watched, and they're taking us nowhere.
And
those party leaders have failed the country. Those party leaders, all they do, whenever Gen Zs are on the street, they call each other. They meet in Dubai. They agree. They console each other. They ride back. They come with the NADICO. We pass the NADICO. And then we don't implement anything. Then the kids go back to the streets. They are killed again. They call each other. They meet somewhere in the Westlands. They have nyamachoma. And then they tell us they are doing conclaves. I mean, this cyclic patronizing way of patronizing our lives with politics must stop. So we called each other and asked ourselves, who has a future in politics? Is this those party leaders or it is us? Some of them are signing out of politics. Age cannot allow them.
Yeah.
Others' ideas have expired. Others have just refused to listen to the issues of Kenyans. Others are just colonized by the power of politics and money. All they care is how much money they make in politics. Mm-hmm. So we called each other and we said, you know what? We respect our party leaders. I respect my party leader. We all respect those wazees. But I think their time is up. Their time is up.
Their time is up.
Oh, yeah.
So
Kenya, it is time for us.
A political
party? It is time for us to fill those spaces. And I called one politician and I told him, and I hope he is going to listen to this interview. I called one politician and I said, you know, brother, me and you don't agree in politics because of a few things you do and a few things I do. But look here. Me and you come from the same region.
Mm-hmm. We have already checked that central.
And me and you are the Meshokes of today. We are the Jenga Karumes of today. We are the Wangari Maathais of today. If you're waiting for anybody else to come out from anywhere else to come and sort out issues in Central, you're dreaming. And I told him, it's time for you to up your game. You must come out strongly as a leader. And you must provide solutions for what is ailing us. Before Baba comes to sort out Kenya, we need to sort out Mulima first. Okay? Mm-hmm. And he looked at me and he said, what are you telling me, Gathoni? And I said, yes, I'm telling you, Meshoke is not coming back to life to sort out issues of Mulima. When we had Mungeke issue, Meshoke came out. He put his life on the line to save Mulima. We need another Meshoke to come and sort us out. Not only on Mungeke issue, but many other issues that are ailing us.
We don't have.
We don't have somebody who is actually coming to say, not reminding us of our problem, but providing solutions.
Isn't that what former deputy president has been pushing?
Hold on. Right now, the party leaders, all they are doing is talking about, I am the party leader of this party. Nobody's telling us how we are going to sort out the problem of the young guys, the young boys and girls who are in Kahawa terrorism court. Nobody is telling us who is going to start the conversation of compensating those kids and families that lost their loved ones.
Yes.
Compensating the businesses that were vandalized and damaged and more so concentrated in Central Region. No one is talking. But whenever those party leaders get an opportunity to speak, they're telling me, I'm the party leader of this party. 2027, we are taking it up. 2027, before 2027, how many bodies are we going to count? How many businesses are going to be burnt down? How many lives are going to be damaged? How many disabled children are we going to get? Somebody must, before telling us 2027, somebody must tell us now. That is why we came up and said, we are the parliamentarian, we are the one who make laws, we introduce bills and motions in parliament. We must come together as Kenya, not as Mulima, not as Trans Nzoia, not as Mombasa, but as Kenya, face of Kenya. Discuss issues that touches somebody, a woman in Trans Nzoia, a woman in Kirinyaga, a woman in Lamu, a woman in Lodiani in Nakuru. So we decided, I think we have allowed these party leaders to colonize us politically. They have ran away with the economy politically. That is why we have a lot of mess. We need to rise up. That is why we actually revived Kenya Moja. We called ourselves. We spoke to ourselves. In fact, before we even went to the rally in
Trans
Nzoia, in Caleb's place, we arrived as early as 6 o'clock in the morning in Caleb Hamisi's rural home. And we had a very lengthy meeting. Not to discuss how we are going to talk in Trans Nzoia, but how we are going to form ourselves to make sure that we are the voice of reason. When these people are talking about Wantam and Tutam, are you going to eat Wantam?
Of course not.
Are you going to pay school fees using Wantam? Are you going to use to pay school fees using Tutam? You know, when you're talking about Tutam, you're talking about who is going to benefit from being in power again. But me who gave you the votes, now I gave you the vote.
Yeah.
Have you sorted me out first? Can we stop the political class from capturing the economy of this country? Using the political opportunity for them to get power. For example, right now, I come from Githunguri. You know we are coffee farmers. Right now, for the last 3 months, coffee farmers have been protesting. I'm sure you've seen the noise.
Yes.
about this new DSS payment system introduced by government. They are saying it's going to collapse their societies, their factories, their money is not going to be in the right hands, and all those stories. Which of those party leaders has stood on a platform, on a Sunday service or wherever, and spoke about that?
So
Do we have
a question,
hold on a minute. Do we have meetings happening in Central Kenya every day? Every weekend, political meetings. When we see people on rooftops, what do they talk about? Do they talk about coffee farmers? Are they talking about milk problems? Are they talking about fertilizer? No. All we are speaking is, we are removing you. We are putting so and so. We are removing you. I'm not here to defend Ruto. By the way, on record, many records, mimi na William Ruto tuliachana the day he did not fulfill what we agreed on Women Charter as a woman leader. Remember, I'm elected on a UDA ticket.
Yes.
I helped William Ruto campaign in Central Kenya and outside Central. I was present when he was signing the Women Charter, and I was part and parcel of those people who crafted the Women Charter for him. He came to Railways Club, a big event, 5,000 women. We danced with him. He signed in front of his wife, in front of the women leaders, all the women leaders in Kenya Kwanza, including the 7 women governors that were there. He signed and committed to a women charter. What did he promise? 50%, if not 2/3. He promised to have 2/3 gender rule fulfilled in parliament, in parliamentary leadership, that is mean the head of committees, the chairs of committees, to fulfill it in his cabinet, in his government, in his political party, in appointments, in everything. And to add to that, he said he promised he's going to give us diapers for lactating mothers. He even promised free sanitary towel to every woman of Kenya. Has he fulfilled? In fact, when he was elected, the first thing he did was to put Hustler Fund and remove Women Enterprise Fund. That's the first thing he did. And then he wrote a communique to Parliament saying, I recognize that this Parliament is not properly constituted because it is short of the 3rd gender rule. And I am going to do 1, 2, 3. That was the first communique he did to Parliament. Has he ever fulfilled it? He wanted to protect himself from the judiciary. That is why he wrote that communique. It is with the Speaker. The Speaker is part of Kenya Kwanza. They are always on platforms and podiums talking politics of 2027. But our issue, our women agenda issue, has been put to the dustbin. The day I realized he was not genuine.
Women are in parliament. You have enough women who can push for it.
We don't have numbers. Even if we've pushed for it, my dear, we have no numbers.
Okay, back to Kenya.
So
Moja.
I wanted to record on record.
Yes.
When I say that we shouldn't entertain the politics of 1 term, 2 terms as the only way politicians can salvage this country, it is wrong.
It is wrong.
And that does not mean I support William Ruto. I do not support William Ruto. And by the way, if this Kenya Moja I have associated with and any other formation supports William Ruto, I will walk away.
So your problem is just William Ruto in this case?
Because I believe he's not genuine.
Okay.
I believe he's not honest. He's not genuine. He's just a politician who just lands on a podium, promises things for a clap, and then after the clap, he disappears and does nothing.
How are we supposed to trust you, Kenya Moja, because you're already in parliament? It's
Look at our records.
It's leaders who are already there. It's leaders who've been voting for these motions. When we have expected parliament to do better, you have failed us. So how are we expected to trust that now? This time, if we trust them, they won't be like the William Ruto they are talking about.
I have said, look at our record. Look at my record. Who am I? How do I vote for sensitive bills? How do I debate on issues, women, issue rights, agriculture, health, education? How do I behave? Look at me. Don't clump me with parliamentarians. Look at me. Look at Babu Owino. How much money do you think Babu has spent being in corridors of justice, trying to rescue the Gen Zs who are in terrorism courts? How much times have I spent going to Kenyatta National Hospital to see those victims? I've even put myself on the line when I was fundraising for the boys to be released because we were given 100,000 cash bill. They could not raise that money. I had to organize myself to see how I can help. And I'm still helping. In fact, even after here, I'm going to sort out a case of one boy who is still in an industrial area because he could not raise 30,000.
Are these things that you can debate in parliament?
Don't come here and tell us, you parliamentarians, Yeah, look at us individually. What is it that Gathoni can do? What is it that Babu is doing? What is Sefuna doing? What is Wamani Waboka doing? What is Kalebamisi doing? And call them here. But don't tell us you parliamentarian, because when you do that, you lump us up together like we are all the same, and you're not the same. Let me tell you. Do you know how much we lose politically because of what we have said and what we have done and positions we've taken? Do you know there was a time I was the only MP isolated in that house? Completely isolated. Do you know there was a time no member of parliament, especially from Kenya Kwanza, could not even greet me? Habari yako. They could not greet me.
So that they're not targeted?
Just because I voted no for finance bill in 2023. Do you know there was a time I could not even go and sit in parliament cafeteria to take tea with members because some members would run away. They don't want to be seen with me. They don't even want even a photo with me. That's what we go through. Just because you said no to a popular bill, you said no, or you said no to a certain motion, or you were not in State House when others were invited. Like me, people keep putting me, on the spotlight. Why didn't you go to State House when others were going? Why didn't you go to Karen when others are going? I remember there was a time when Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy president. He used to call MPs from Kiambu in Karen, in an Oval office, I remember, Oval table. And I was the only one who was missing. And then people would bash me, why don't you go for those meetings? I'm like, why am I going for those meetings? Yet whatever they're going to discuss is retrogressive. It's not what I believe in. So I feel bad when you people start saying that parliament has no people who think. That parliament has no people who have principles. Some of us have gone through thick and thin.
I think it's the problem of democracy.
Yeah, but you see, you can't.
Majority.
No, you can't lump us up in one lump. Surely it's not fair. It is not fair. In fact, that demotivates some of us. Sometimes you wonder, I lose so much, yet these people on social media are bashing you, saying, oh, this MP, just like another MP. When you call me an MP, for heaven's sake, I have lost so many personal things and gains because of my stand. Sometimes it makes me feel a little bit demotivated. And I think it's up to even voters to also decide on what kind of quality of leaders they're going to vote. Because I think all this mess we have, a parliament that has no voice, a parliament that is captured by the executive and the presidency, and that I have no apologies to say because it is true.
It is true.
Even if it is not true coming from me, from you viewers, I'm sure you see what happens. All this mess we have, I always say, the problem is the voter. The problem is the voter.
What has the voter done?
The voter just sometimes decides to vote emotionally without checking anybody's record. I keep saying, and sometimes I get bashed, but it's okay. Me, I developed a very thick skin for bashing, political bashing. But I say it as it is. You don't expect to elect somebody who has never held any public debate anywhere to convince anybody anything. But just because huyu ni mtoto wa single mother, just because this guy was selling motura somewhere.
And I feel like that's a central problem.
Exactly. Also. Allow me to speak it because it is the truth. Huyu ni mtoto wa single mother. Alikuwa anauza kahawa ile ya kuzunguza kwa soko. Ama alikuwa anauza motura somewhere. Ni mtoto wa single mother. Wamama huwa wanasema wacha tumuoshe. Angalau ajenge mama yake kanyumba. Munamuhurumia, munamujenga. Akienda kule, ile pesa alitumia ni ya nani? Nani alimfund? For example, let's go to Central.
Yeah.
The parliamentarians that people accuse that they became a choir of yes to anything William Ruto want. Who funded them? Majority of them.
I think most were funded by UDA.
Who was funding UDA?
The president and the
Who
former
was
deputy.
funding the UDA?
President Ruto and
so
the
do you
deputy.
expect anybody who was funded by William Ruto to ever stand on the floor of that house and say anything proposed by William Ruto is wrong?
What would happen if they did?
How would you behave if you sponsored somebody somewhere to do something for you and then akifika kule akugeuke?
But parliament is independent.
No. It's the same game. The same principle, the same game. So my problem, musiseme ati hiyo bunge ni bure. Hapana, ni nyinyi mliwachagua. Na by the way, let me tell you, the same emotions that made you have that parliament, in the 13th parliament, we are going to have the same 14th parliament if you don't listen to what I'm saying here. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying here is this. Elect members on their capacity, based on their potential, based on their deliverables, based on their education qualifications, based on their exposure and networks, not because you fellowship in the same church, not because he is from your community, not because he is singing loudly with a guitar, not because he's a good kick matron, not because he's a good, that's how we elect people. You want to make a cake matron an MP. To go and read the documents that are in Parliament, let me tell you the kind of reading expected to be done in Parliament. You must have the right papers to be in that house.
What are the right papers? That's a very important conversation, which I think most parliamentarians don't want
nowadays
touched.
I don't even speak about the right papers. I speak about the right knowledge.
Yes.
Because people buy papers. We have people, even in that house, who have fake papers.
So what is the knowledge for a common citizen to understand what is expected? Because you've been through
the
that
knowledge
house.
is we have issues of DSS on the table right now. How many members of parliament can dissect issues of DSS and argue out in any platform on DSS matters? That is finance, right? Yes. We had finance bill. How many members can be able to explain to you what is in finance bill? How many?
You.
Thank you very much, because that is finance.
From my judgment.
Thank you. And the judgment of those who are watching us. So if somebody cannot be able to tell you what is even in finance bill, if somebody cannot be able to tell you even what is in DSS, for example, this coffee thing we are fighting, somebody cannot be able to tell you, like, for example, call a member of parliament to muulize how many new taxes were introduced for importers and exporters in this country. Waulize hiyo swali, how many will answer you? So if somebody cannot be able to even, understand that, how do you expect that person to ever go and defend you on such matters? Please, I'm not saying cake matrons are not good. I'm not saying musicians
but they
are
need
not
to
good.
read either
I'm
way.
not saying that Mutura person, that Boda person is not good. But please, before you allow them to be, I keep saying this, my sister. If any theater in this country cannot just allow you to go and carry out surgery.
Yeah.
However lovely you are, you cannot just walk in any surgery room and get the scissors and start doing surgery. Why? Because that is life. Parliament is life also. Parliament can mess up and Gen Zs are dead. Parliament can mess up and this country is burning. Parliament can mess up, parliamentarians and politicians can mess up, and we have no economy. So just like you cannot trust anybody with scissors, don't trust anybody with lawmaking, because they can make a law that is retrogressive that can burn up this country. For example, we made a law on privatization. I think that time, the day that law was passed, I think that's the time I had a lot of fights because I had just voted out finance bill. Actually, I think that's the day we voted for privatization bill is the day I went public and I said, I'm not supporting finance bill. So I tried screaming and telling people, this thing is not good. This privatization bill is not good. Nobody listened to me. Today, munalia, sijui Adani is taking over airport.
Kenya pipeline
inaenda. Sijui tunabomoa bomas, imeenda. Sijui. Why are you complaining? It is the same person you loved and sang for, danced for, and campaigned for that passed that bill unanimously. I think it's only 4 or 5 people who didn't vote for that bill. And I'm one of them. I abstained. I refused. Because I knew what it was coming. So when you people are complaining in social media, I see you on X, I see you on social media complaining. But what kind of a person did you elect? Do they read? Do they understand what is privatization? But look at this conflict of interest bill that has come. Why were the members refusing to sign it?
But you're saying only 5 of you voted against.
And it's a minimum
the rest,
number.
There's a bunch of learned people who voted.
That is what I'm saying. Because they are patronized by their party leaders. There are people there who are learned, but they are patronized by party leader. In fact, let me tell you, the biggest problem in this country, and forever we shall have it if we don't change, it is the party political parties. Because you know, when you come up with a political party, you want to control people, you want them to do what you want, you call them to order. If you don't toe the line, you are evicted from committees. Like, for example, I was the chair of the committee that oversights the implementation of the Kenyan constitution.
Constitution, yes.
CUIC. I was the chair. Why was I pushed out?
You didn't match up to the expectations.
I didn't sing the song. I told them no. When they brought that thing of Land Act, I refused. I told the NLC, National Land Commission, this is wrong. I complained when they refused to fund all the independent commissions. The Auditor General was defunded. The Controller of Budget was defunded. Kenya National Human Rights, they were defunded. Every other independent commission that is supposed to be checking the government was defunded. The only commission that was funded was TSC. And I asked them a question. Why are you defunding organizations that are empowered by the Constitution to check the government? The executive was doing that intentionally. So that when they killed the Gen Zs, Kenya human rights people will not have money to do the investigations, to take people to Hague. They are defunding Controller of Budget so that they don't flag out the thefts and the budgeted corruption that is in our budgets. Do you understand?
I get
that is why I'm saying, so if political parties and political leaders will continue having the political power to determine who is voted in Senate, to determine who is voted in Parliament, in the National Assembly, we are done.
So we are doomed for the next 2 years. That's what you mean.
If you guys do not decide, Gathoni Wamuchomba, if you believe in her, even if she stood alone without any political party, you can vote her in. If you don't do that, if you don't isolate good material from that political garbage, let me call it that way, you are doomed. After the next parliament will be the same.
So the parliament we have now essentially is useless at the moment.
Let's not use the word useless, because I think that's too much of, it's too extreme. Let's say it's not effective.
If you're not effective...
well, you know, I come from a diplomatic world where I have to choose what I say. I think it's not effective. It's not the parliament that people expect. It's not the parliament that I served in 12th parliament, because I was in 12th parliament.
Yeah.
It's not the parliament that I have known that was with Akina Moite and Akina Kivutha Kibwanas. It's not the parliament that I knew. This is a different parliament, completely colonized and captured by the executive, and not the executive more so, but by the presidency.
The presidency.
Yes.
Let me ask you, yesterday and even last week, the president, in fact, yesterday he said he has the courage of Jomo, the wisdom of Kibaki, I don't know what of Uhuru and experience. The other week he said, maybe I am what were the words? The long-awaited savior, something that I hope I have it. Yes.
Where are you making me
This is what he said. What if Ruto is the agent of destiny for the promise of Kenya, whose time has been delayed for far too long? And then he said, pause, reflect, think, and give me a chance and judge me when the time comes.
Why is he pleading to be given a chance?
Plus yesterday's Jomo, Kibaki, Uhuru.
Have you ever kosana with your partner, alafu sasa unajua tu umekosa, pia kabisa umekosa, unamwambia, oh my lovely, please give me a chance, I'll correct. Ukisikia mtu akisema give me a chance, already that person is guilty. You can never ask to be given a chance when you're innocent.
So what? So you talked about education. He holds a PhD.
Let me ask you. He said he's the what of education? Kibaki is of education. He's the Kibaki?
Yes, he's the courage of
and
Jomo.
And he can dare say that?
Education, yes.
When he knows what he has done with the help?
He said it openly.
When he knows he defunded help? When he knows he has reduced the amount of money that was allocated to help? Historically, by Kibaki's regime, Uhuru's regime, he's the only one who came and defunded education. He can say that when he knows very well he has defunded critical, essential services like health. We have never had any president who ever defunded health. You can imagine he's defunding health. Defunding means reducing budgets for health.
Yeah.
When USAID is withdrawing, when UKAID is withdrawing.
But those are geopolitical
whatever
affairs.
It
doesn't have to be
the
Kenyan.
basket that was there when USAID was less. So we expected him to put more money.
Yeah.
But he defunded health. He defunded education. How do you defund education and you say you are the Kibaki?
He will say last week they took the funding down again. The whatever help and school fees was reduced.
Yeah,
technically it's not even a reduction.
There was an uproar when Buddy said there was no money. Watu wajipange. Can he come on this camera? That same president akwambie anyway, hata akikuja hapa akikwambia mimi siaminangi, nini niacha kumwamini anyway, because there's nothing he says that is truthful. But can they give you figures and tell you that we have money for examinations? Forget about this whole story of, we have reduced the fees for tuition for university. Can they give you figures and tell you every other child who is going to sit for exam, Kenya National Examination Council, they have enough money to pay for exams? Can they face these cameras and tell you that? Can they face this camera and tell you that they are sending 22,000 shillings capitation money to every secondary school child in this country, like he said on TV? Can he face?
I think Mbadi said they are sending 17 because Parliament has not given them money.
They are sending 16. So this whole story of going to those platforms and saying, it's not true, we are sending 22,000, it is because they know Kenyans don't read. You know, we have a very poor culture of not reading. We have a very bad culture. We don't read. We always wait to be told. If you're told lies, you take the lie. If you're told the truth, you take the truth. You take whatever you're told. But I'm loving Kenyans, especially you millennials and Gen Zs. I'm loving you. Because nowadays you have refused to be cheated. You have refused to be lied to. You dig out and you give out facts. I am loving you guys. Continue digging out. Those figures that you have told, 22,000, dig out and check which school got 22,000. Hakuna.
Okay.
Kwanza kwangu Githunguri, I actually flagged them as a whistleblower. And I told them, you are not only depriving us our capitation money, but you are expulging learners from NEMIS. Unaenda kwa shule, unapata watoto 100 wametolewa kwa NEMIS.
So if you remove kids from NEMIS, how are they supposed to do exams?
Thank you very much. Not even exams. Even the capitation money is less. Unapata kuna shule imetolewa 100 kids, wengine 50 kids. At random. I took my data, serious data. I went to Parliament. I asked a question in Parliament. The minister came, replied and denied. I tabled documents because in Parliament, if somebody claims that you're not factual, you table document. Yeah. I table document. And in 2 weeks, all those learners were returned. So for those members of Parliament who never do what Gathoni may do, how many learners are out of the system? Expelled from the system so that they don't get the money.
And then
I'm on record saying there are schools that are not existent.
That is what I was going to ask.
And they get capitation money. In fact, to our shock, I was talking about 16 million. Kumbe, it was even in billions.
Yeah.
Was it 5 billion?
I think they mentioned 6 billion.
6 billion.
But I want to ask...
You can imagine, those are ghost schools. Schools that are not existing.
So Parliament, knowing very well we have ghost schools, what do you do? Because now for the citizens can't
that is
do
why
much.
We are coming up as Kenya Moja so that we can start asking seriously those questions. Because if Gathoni asked, I already flagged this thing in NEMIS alone. I spoke alone. I didn't have any projection. In fact, I remember there's one parliamentarian who went to Parliament and said that's a propaganda. When I tabled document, they went quiet. That is why you, a member of Parliament, is supposed to take up those issues. But because we are submerged by the political parties' politics, we are submerged, tuko huko ndani ya hiyo mchanganyiko. We must pop up like a toad and get oxygen and speak when you're up there. That is why Kenya Moja is actually coming up. And I'm very happy, let me tell you about Kenya Moja.
So is it going to be like a political party?
Not really. It may birth maybe a political party. We never know about future. But for now, my concern is, as we speak about 2027, chasing away whoever we are chasing and putting whoever we are putting, are you going to eat Wantam or Tutam? Nikisema Wantam as a politician, and all I tell you is Wantam. Do I care what you eat? Do I care whether your child has dropped out of school? Do I care whether you have seeds to plant, fertilizer to plant?
But you know, one of your Kenya Moja
that is what we need to do. We need to make sure, in as much as we talk about Wantam and whoever we are kicking out and putting in, now, between now and 2027, people's lives goes on.
But the other day, Sifuna just told us the agenda is one. So no, how different is it?
Please understand, he said the biggest agenda. Biggest doesn't mean there are no other agenda. He said the biggest agenda is to make sure you don't come back because you are the real problem. And I agree with him. If Ruto comes back and he has the audacity to lie to us on women issues, he has audacity to lie to us about health, about education, about agriculture. He lies everything. You can remember the fertilizer he gave us that was fake. that was adulterated. Do you remember?
Yeah.
If
The
this guy
donations
comes
from
back,
Russia.
the same problems you are talking about will still be there. So that is why Sifuna was saying this guy must go because he's the originator of our problems. But as we push him out, we also have to remember people's life have to move on. People's life have to move on. Businesses have to continue.
Yeah.
So we must make the right bills. We must ask the right questions in parliament. We must do motions. That is why we've come together so that we can amplify each other's voice. Are we together?
Okay.
We can amplify each other's voice. For example, there's a woman rep for Kericho who literally cried tears in parliament because of the extreme cases of gender-based violence in her county. The women rep for Kericho. When we saw how pressed she is, irrespective of whatever political divide she stands, we all came for her in parliament last week. Go check.
Okay.
We defended her and we fought that issue and we told the speaker, this is a very serious issue. You must, as a speaker, I remember I'm on record, I actually beseeched the speaker. And I said, Parliament of Kenya must invest more than just rhetoric on matters gender-based violence and femicide. You see, that's our work. That's what we are supposed to do. Irrespective of whether she supports Wantam or Tutam, the issue she's talking about is my issue, it's your issue.
Yeah.
It's cut across. We must refuse to be carried away by the floods of 2027 campaigns. Forget that people's lives have to be protected.
Is it why the president was saying, as opposition, I don't know now, you're in government, but well, we understand whatever system is working, that every day the opposition is just saying, must go, Ruto must go, Wantam, but technically no agenda.
I think on that one, in as much as I don't agree with William Ruto on many things, I think we have overdone the one-term, two-term thing. And now we are looking like the only business we have is one term. We don't have any other issue. We actually are not projecting the issues. Because I was thinking right now, any political party leader who has a microphone would be asking the government, when are you going to compensate the families that lost their loved ones during the demos? I was imagining that any party leader who has a microphone or anybody who calls themselves the voice of the people would be asking, why are we sending over 400,000 young people to other countries? Why is the government looking like they should be celebrated for exporting our own people to become slaves in other countries?
Are you guys discussing that in parliament?
That is what we should be. I'm saying my expectation.
Yeah.
To those who call themselves party leaders and they call themselves the voices of the people, those issues must come out. Right now, my coffee farmers, some of them have just decided to stop investing in coffee. Not because there is no money, but the government has clearly come out to deceive coffee farmers their wealth. Who of those party leaders is speaking about coffee farmers? When we see them on church, on podiums on Sunday, what do they say? Do they advocate for the rights of the people? Do they ask for accountability for the ones who died? Do they ask for compensation? Do they ask for accountability of the bodies we saw being retrieved in Kwale of women? Nobody speaks about it. All we hear is, we are going to remove so-and-so, we are going to remove so-and-so. So what? Okay, it's good to say we are removing. And we have already made up our mind we are removing this guy. Ruto must go in 2027. We have agreed. Everyone here has agreed. So what? After that? Are we going to continue singing that song till 2027? You know, I keep saying in my community where I come from, we normally say, if you are a wise speaker, sometimes you take a gulp of water in your mouth so that you only speak when you swallow the water. That way, you'll avoid saying unnecessary things. That is what we say in my community.
Okay.
You know very well your intentions are this, but you don't have to keep shouting. Because huwa tunasema, mwizi haogopangi mtu ambaye amemuona. Mwizi anaogopanga mtu ambaye ameshout. Ametangaza, ameshout, nimemuona mwizi. Mwizi haogopangi kuonwa. Anaogopanga yule anasema, ndio huyo mwizi. Huyo ndio anaogopa. So we know already we are going to remove this guy. Why are we shouting? Why are we doing all this? Si tujipange sasa, strategy ya kumtoa ni gani? Strategy ni gani ya kumtoa? Tujipange sasa. That is why tuko Kenya moja.
Okay.
Kujipanga.
Kujipanga.
Yes.
Muhimu sana.
Yes.
You've spoken about these leaders making choices and maybe speaking out on issues like labor export, which they're not talking about. As citizens, our expectations is that because we elected you and at least you have few sober people who can talk about it, are these things that you have raised in parliament?
Yes.
Because you see now here, we cannot, as citizens out here, will be saying, no, we don't want to be laborers, to be killed and all that.
Let me tell you, when I tell you parliament is captured, then I think you need to understand and interrogate what I have told you. When a parliament is captured, only what is desired by the leadership of parliament comes to the public. Can I repeat?
Yes, please.
When parliament is captured by the presidency, for example, only that which is endorsed by the presidency, the capturer, comes to the public. I will write a question, it will be muzzled. I will come up with a motion, it will be delayed forever until it expires. I will draft a bill, it will kunywa maji along the way. Because there's so much bottlenecks created by the same system so that whatever is not in line with what they want doesn't come out. I don't speak propaganda, I speak facts. I am Gathoni Wamuchomba, MP elected by the people of Githunguri. I have sponsored a motion in the National Assembly 1.5 years ago. That motion has never seen the light of day.
1.5?
1.5 years ago. I am on record. You can dig out in the parliamentary record. My motion was in the order paper for the last 1 year and 2 months.
What is usually is there in the standing orders, is there a timeline?
Before you ask me, ask yourself, why would a motion sponsored by a second-time member of parliament be delayed for over a year? Yet finance bill comes in 2 weeks, it's sorted. Impeachment ya Gachagua inakuja 2 weeks, sorted. Those privatization bills za serikali zinakuja, zinapitishwa, zinapita. Why would a bill sponsored by a woman for women of Kenya on matters maternity health care, on how to make sure we dignify our mothers during childbirth, on how to protect the right of dignity of mothers when they are delivering their babies and their infant, on a bill that can stop many deaths of infants in this country and mothers during delivery? Why would such a bill be delayed for 1 year, 2 months? And even today as we speak here, right now, I had to look for another member of parliament because now the motion is expired to sponsor it for me. Why? Ask yourself. So when you people go to X and wherever and start bashing us, they do nothing. Those MPs do nothing. You people don't understand the bottlenecks that have been put in that parliament by the capturers of the same parliament.
But I thought it was quite independent.
Sometimes I will sit in that parliament and I will indicate I want to contribute to a motion and I will not get an opportunity. The parliamentary leadership will go to that floor and wanajipanga, wanasema utapatia huyu aongee, akimaliza huyu aongee, huyu aongee, huyu aongee, close the motion. Gathoni hata ongea. So when you see us on that parliament seated there for 3 hours and we are saying nothing, sio kwa sababu hatutaki kuongea, ni kwa sababu kuna gadget iko pale mbele na speaker ndio yako pale na anaongea na party leaders, wale wa representation of party leaders in the house, majority leader, minority leader, hao ndio wana dictate. Usipatie Gathoni ako na siasa mbaya, patia fulani ako na siasa mzuri, patia fulani alisema, the bottlenecks that are in that house. So sometimes you see Gathoni seated there for 3 hours and then I walk away because I'm frustrated. So when you people go to social media and start saying, this parliamentarian, they don't speak, they don't talk for us, you don't know what we do. That I've just given you an example of a motion. I have done a bill, geriatric bill, 2019, a bill that I wanted to take care of the elderly people of Kenya. Go to your records. I introduced this in 2019. When we were lapsing the last parliament, my bill was already past the stage where you start afresh in the next parliament. So it was carried. It was I think only 3 bills were carried over. My bill was carried over to this parliament, but it was killed during this parliament. It was killed the day Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah wanted everything removed for finance bill. So he whipped his members who are the majority, told them today, all bills that are in the floor on the order paper, zitolewe, you vote them out, all of them. Ndio tutengeneze jia kutengeneza finance bill. My bill that wanted to dignify the lives of the elderly people of Kenya, give them free express services everywhere they go. Wasikue wanapiga foleni, wakienda bank, express service. Wakienda hospitali, express service. Iliangushwa. Bila ambayo nilikuwa nimesema kama wewe ulikuwa civil servant na ulikuwa umelipiwa kadi na serikali, ukiritaya, serikali iendelee kukulipia hiyo medical card. Wakaangusha. Bila ambayo ilikuwa inasema kila county itengeneze pahali wakongwe ambao wameachiliwa na watu wao watapata pahali ya kukula sapa. Ikaangushwa. Bila ilikuwa imepatia mkongwe ambaye amefanyia Kenya kazi akizeeka at 65 years old. Bila ilikuwa imempatia huyo opportunity ya kuwa VIP, very important person in the society. Waliangusha hiyo. Let me tell you, kuna wajumbe walilia machozi. Sio, na ilikuwa bila yangu. Lakini I know 2 parliamentarian, especially one is a doctor, alilia machozi. Akasema it is unfair because even us tunazeeka. Tungetaka hiyo bili ipite ndio hata sisi tukizeeka to enjoy. Lakini hiyo bili iliangushwa because of politics of dominance. Politics of partisan politics. Politics of political leaders. Politics of capture. When I come here and tell you, next parliament, you people must elect people who are firm, people who are principled, people who not only bow down to party leaders, but bow down to the people who elected them. When I tell you my frustration on that in that house, then you understand why some of us speak the way we speak.
So it means the speaker is also very critical in the leadership and in terms of what progresses in parliament.
You are supposed to be the independent when he's a party leader. In a coalition.
What do they...
What do you expect him to do?
Do standing orders have issues on that? Because that's then where I want to imagine
standing orders that we have right now never envisioned a situation where we would have a speaker who is a party leader. Mm-hmm. And that's really has created a lot of confusion.
So is it possible to, what is it called? To not edit, what's the word? Like change the standing orders, amend.
We can amend the standing orders only when we have a non-partisan speaker, because he's the chair of the committee that changes standing orders. How do you change standing orders to disqualify him or to punish him or to limit him? And he's the chair of the same committee. It is called House Rules and Regulations Committee. It's the one that changes the standing order, and he's the chair.
Okay, so for now...
I told you, I am not here to sell doom to you guys, but I'm telling you, between now and 2027, if you don't have voices of reason to stand up and speak, people who are ready for whatever it takes for the sake of this country, we are doomed.
Wow.
Yes.
That's sad.
It's very sad.
But it's a sad
Unfortunately,
reality.
I tell you the truth.
Okay.
But
yeah,
we'd
rather
sad.
have the truth.
It is the truth.
Okay.
So I think way forward, when I listen to you guys, the millennials and the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas, I think you need to stop. You need to migrate your fights from. Okay, you need to strategize. Let me use the word strategy. Let me not use the word stop. You need to strategize. And how do you strategize? You can't fight from outside. You can only fight from inside.
Yes.
So you guys, you must strategize to be in every political party and capture those parties.
So the goal is to join the parties.
Join the parties, you Gen Zs and you millennials. Ingieni hizo political parties and insist you are the party leader. Insist you are the deputy party leader. Insist you are the women league chair. Insist. Wacheni kupatiwa ako kakiti kamoja munapeangwa ka youth wing. Youth wing. Apana? Ingieni hizo parties and take over the parties. If tomorrow Bobi Owino becomes a chair of a committee, of a party, Bobi Owino will not behave the way some of the people are behaving today. If Gathoni Wamuchomba today, I'm a party leader today, I will not behave the way those party leaders have been behaving.
Okay. When you see how the young people again are behaving, because I'll give an example. When Kasmuel joined ODM, everyone started calling
and I came
him
out for his defense, and I'm not even in ODM myself.
Because what I need us to understand as young people, the power of political parties.
Yes.
And why. Because now they won't even allow you to create a new party.
You know why I was defending Kasmuel? I was asking people, so you guys want change. You guys, you want accountability. You guys, you want to bring transparency. How do you do it? In the air? No. You'll have to get into those political parties, understand what goes on there, go and start changes in that political party. So that the party leader will never call Gathoni Wamuchomba tomorrow when I'm on the floor of the house to tell me to stop voting. No. Because that's what happens. You see, I'm a parliamentarian and I'm
Yeah.
supposed to have my independence. My party leader cannot call me on my cell phone when I'm on the floor of the house to stop me from voting for a bill. But that's what happens. You people, the Gen Zs and millennials, you need to get into those political parties and tell party leaders, hey, enough is enough. We are not going to allow you to do 1, 2, 3. And if you do that, tutakutoa. Na muwe majority so that you can capture those parties. Lakini kuingia kwa social media, kazi yenyu ni kutukanana, kazi yenyu ni kubash politicians. No. Iyo muache. Sasa muingie kwa hizo chama nyinyi wenyewe. When Samuel went to ODM, I was very happy. Because I thought he's going to bring the energy of the young people and bring more young people into that party so that they can change the systems. I want to see more people join me in whatever political party I'll join in 2027. So that they can call me out. Yes, so that they can call me out and tell me, if Gathoni, you are our boss, or Gathoni, you are our leader, this and this and this must be allowed so that the young people can take over this country's systems of governance. You will not succeed fighting from outside. You only fight from inside. Let there be young people in every board. Insist. These parastatal boards zinawekangwa watu wameretire. Kwa nini? Kataeni museme lazima tuingie kwa hizo boards. By the way, those boards, there should be only one person who is the institutional memory. One person or two people. The rest should be young people. After all, you are the majority in the population. Hizi boards za Ardhi Water Services Board. Why do we see wazee wenye hawawezi hata tembea kwa stairs? Ati wao ndio wanaidaga board meetings. Mtu anashikiriwa tu hivi akienda ati anaenda board meeting. With all respect to those elderly persons and all those elderly citizens, your time is up. That is why this country is going down. Let these people with energy occupy those spaces.
Are you a believer of transferring, like cutting it from do away with the old, put new, or just, or are you one who believes there needs to be institutional memory so that
institutional memory can be done in a more progressive way and allow the young people to take over? Let me tell you, I'm not here to blow my own trumpet, but I want to tell you the truth. My committee of CDF, the chairperson who I appointed through the help of the people of Githunguri, was 34 years old. When I appointed him at 34 years old, wazee walikuwa anasema amepatia watoto kazi. Huyu mama sasa amekuja, especially my distractors. Huyu mama tuliwaambia msipatie huyu mama kazi. Ona sasa ameleta mtoto wa 34 years old. Let me tell you, that 34 years old guy has done the best kitchen of the year. Awarded by NGCDF headquarters as the best project of the year. Every other constituencies, including governors, are coming for benchmarking in my kitchen, which has been done by a 34-year-old. Look at my office. Go and download. I only have one person who is above 50 years. Only one. The rest, 34, 32, 33. Huyu cameraman wangu huyu ni wa miaka ngapi? Muulize. He's a head of communication. He's a Gen Z. And let me tell you, I am the best performing member of parliament currently.
Yeah, I saw that.
I have been awarded 6 times as the best performing member of parliament because I have people, young people, with new energy, new ideas, new way of doing things. Look here, when I was elected in my constituency, the ward where I come from is called Komodhai. Coffee farmers fought for 25 years, fighting. Walikuwa wanaenda AGM meeting wakiwa na mapanga. Tulikuwa na mill ilitengenezwa in the year 2002 by Mama Ngina, ndio alitupatia dona, akakuja akatuwekea hiyo mio ya kahawa. Sio factory, mill. Ikafungwa in 11 months. They have fought since. Nilienda kwa hizo factory zote, nikaleta mabadiliko. Nikasema kwa every factory, nataka kuona uso wa kijana. 34, 35 years and below. I want to see every factory a Gen Z. Na nikawaambia kama mnataka tusaidiane, kwanza tuanze hapo. Huyu Gen Z anaweza weka database ya wakulima wote kwa laptop. Huyu Gen Z within 2 hours anaweza tengeneza list ya fertilizer, ni nani anataka fertilizer na anatuma KPCU. The next day fertilizer inaletwa. Huyu mzee wa 82 mwenye aliritaya polisi, ukimwambia kutengenezea list ya fertilizer, anachukuanga 2 months.
Na karatasi.
Na bado iko na errors. With all due respect. With all due respect. Ulitemwa na serikali kwa sababu umezeeka, macho haioni, masikio haioni. Alafu unakuja kwa kijiji, tunakupatia pesa yetu yote, mali yetu yote, ati utumanejie. How? I have respect for those parents. What I said in my coffee societies, I said, chairman, mpatieni huyu mzee for overseer, institutional memory. Lakini operations manager, 35 and below. Clerk, 35 and below. Data collector, 35 and below. Oversight manager, 35 and below. Komodhai Coffee Society can tell you they have gotten award twice now as the best managed cooperative society in Kiambu County. After I did that. It is on record. You can go and download and check. Go and check at the Ministry of Cooperative, which cooperative society in Kiambu County is leading. When I call for the management meeting, I see Gen Zs with laptops in coffee societies. Laptops. Wanafungua laptop, tunafanya mkutano wakitype. Nikitisha picha ya wakulima wa mama, napata. Picha ya wazee, napata. Data ya wale hawakupata fertilizer, napata. That is what we need to do.
Can we
not only in
transfer
coffee,
that on the national
not only
space?
In coffee cooperatives, but in the national space. If I ever become a president or a deputy president or anybody of influence in this country, my first directive would be to make sure that every other saga, every other parastatal, every other government-oriented office, 70% of the workers must be the young people. 30% is the rest.
You think if policy. The CSS today were all young people, we would have a better country?
Come on, what are you saying? What are you saying? If we had CSS that are young people, sasa how? Nyinyi. Let me tell you. When I was employed in the media, I was 21 years old. I was employed by a boss who appreciated young people. In fact, it was the first station ever to employ young people. Because I was 21, and I think majority of us tulikuwa 21, 22, 23, 24. We only had one woman who was old, who had been poached from KBC. When we opened Kameme, in 6 months, it became #1 brand. Tulikuja tuka overtake all the others. Kulikuwa mpaka Kiswahili and English stations. Na sisi tulikuwa tunaongea in vernacular. We overtook all of them. Because of the way we were doing things, the way we were planning, our airplay, the way we were doing our road shows, we were young. I became a manager at 23. I was a manager. By the time I was 25, I was the head of radio. Hello. I was trending. Every newspaper was talking about this young queen. If I never got an opportunity at 25, would I be here?
Of course not.
You told me you used to listen to me when you were how many years old?
I was very tiny.
Like 3, 4, 5 years?
Maybe 5, 6.
You can imagine when you were 5 years old, I was already a manager at 25 or 26. And that is why I have the experience to even come here and tell you, I'm going to be president. One day. I will.
Inshallah.
I will. One day I will.
God
willing. Nikipata good health, many years, I will be president of this country.
Is that something you're yearning for 2027 perhaps? No, 2027.
2027 maybe not, but you never know.
I mean, if Kenya Moja becomes a party,
I have said you never know.
And they front you.
You never know. If I'm fronted, why not? And I believe I have the capacity to do it. I believe that if we are able to absorb these young people in the coffee factories, we will have no Gen Zs complaining there are no jobs.
Yeah.
If we are absorbed, let me give you an example of my model for feeding program. I have a feeding program in Githunguri that feeds 29,000 children in my constituency. Every day school child in primary and secondary day, they feed in schools, courtesy of the work I have done. I have a centralized kitchen that cooks for every child in one kitchen. I have employed, through that system, young Gen Zs below 30. Sio nasa below 35, below 30. As TAP managers, we have a program we call TAP to Eat.
Yeah.
TAP managers in every school. At 28 years old, 24, 27, every school with a degree holder or a diploma holder. Every school. Permanent and pensionable. In every school. In the kitchen, young people are there. That whole project, by the way, is run by young people below 35 years. If you are 35 and above, you are either a server, serve chakula, or a loader. Loader ni wale wanaweka chakula
on trucks.
Like any other person is a young person. Let me tell you, I have never had an efficient program like that one. Food has never been late. By 11:30, food is already there. Laboratory is well organized with chakula samples with the laboratory. data has never been a mess. Ati the way unasikia mtoto aliyesahaulika, ati huyu mtoto alikuwa akona allergy hatukubuka. Watoto wako na allergy, wako na tag zao. Wazazi wanakumbushwa asubuhi, lipeni 20 bob. You know, order, efficiency. Governor wa Kisii County, si Barati, alikuja kuona hiyo program, akaniambia, mama, nitumie hawa watu kwangu wakuja wanionyeshe na uniambie tu vile ulifanya. Nikamwambia, the secret is young people. I'm not here because I want to be loved by young people. No, I'm here to say as it is. Young people must be given the opportunity to make critical decisions in this country.
Young people have gone to the streets 2 times now.
Very
2 times
depressing.
in terms of the years, but many times in
Yeah.
that period. Do you feel like the government understands why we get on the streets? Because I have been there.
No, they don't
And
understand.
are they also willing to fix the mess?
No. Never. They don't understand what's the issue. They still have never gotten it. They still don't even have a plan of sorting it because they don't, you know, when you don't have you don't acknowledge there is a problem, you can never look for a solution. In theory, we say you must indicate the problem, come up with a problem statement so that you can provide a solution. So this government will not sort out the problem of the young people in Kenya because they still don't even appreciate there is a problem. When a president stands on a pulpit in front of ambassadors and diplomats and say, this year we have exported 400,000, which is not even factual anyway.
Yeah.
Ebu fanya mahesabu uniambie hizo ni ndege ngapi zimetoka airport.
It's not
possible.
Yeah.
What do you think of that person? Anajua kuna shida kweli? Does he appreciate there's a problem? Exporting labor is the solution. You see, I have a problem. When you come to my constituency and tell us, I'm going to build for you aggregation centers. Kama sasa kwetu Githunguri tuko na aggregation center inajengwa na serikali kuu kubwa. Lakini hujajiuliza hizi aggregation nyumba kubwa, factories kubwa unajenga, tutakuwa tunafanyia nini huko? Raw material itakuwa gani?
Oh, it's not like a pre-planned thing where you start.
Can somebody come and tell me, because there are 9 aggregation centers in one. Yani there are 9 cubicles of big. What is it that we are going to be doing in those 9 cubicles?
I thought it starts with planning so
Thank
that you
you
can
very
get to the
much.
construction.
Thank you very much. It starts with planning. You say we are going to aggregate avocados. Before tumalize kujenga hile nyumba ya aggregate avocados, I need to distribute seedlings to these many farmers and educate them on how to take care of the seedlings so that by the time I finish that aggregation center, farmers are ready. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I need to make sure if I am coming up with a center where I will be processing animal feeds, I need to give farmers sorghum seeds, cotton seeds, sunflower seeds, soya seeds, canola seeds, so that by the time I am ready with the construction ya kutengeneza chakula ya mifugo, raw materials are ready.
So that was not done.
Who has planned? Because construction industry is lucrative to the political class. Contractor akifika kuna kickbacks. They all jump to construction. Hii ya kupatiana begu haina pesa. Unanielewa? So how do you now construct? And that is why you see most of these government projects become white elephant projects. Because there's no planning.
I thought the way Moses Kuria was pushing it.
Thank you very much. I have told you I'm on the ground. Tell me. Sasa tunaambiwa hizo aggregation centers zikimalizika tunatengeneza chakula ya mifugo. Ziko wapi raw materials? You want to tell me in Kenya hakuna pahali tunaweza panda kanora? What has the government done to plant kanora? That is why I want to become president. That is why I want to become president, because I believe in planning and I am real. Before nikuambie nitapunguza chakula cha mifugo bei, nitakwambia nitapunguza chakula cha mifugo bei because these thousands of farmers have planted cotton, so we'll have cotton seed. These many farmers have planted canola, have planted soya, have planted, and I have data of what I'm saying. But you can't come and tell us, tutapunguza hiyo chakula. Mutapunguzaje na cotton yenyu inatoka Malawi? Mutapunguzaje na canola yenyu inatoka Tanzania? Mutapunguzaje na hamuna any ingredient ya kutengeneza chakula cha mifugo munazalisha hapa Kenya isipokuwa mahindi, na haitoshi chakula ya ugali ndio ifikie wanyama? Unanielewa?
I get you. Whoa.
So I am talking about leadership of people who talks figures, who do planning like Kibaki used to do. Let me tell you, I had an opportunity to serve in Kibaki's. In fact, Kibaki summoned me in State House twice. because of bashing him on radio when I was on radio. And he actually did not send me CIDs. He did not send me DCI.
Subarus.
He called me and told me, young girl, I want to see you. And I went to the State House. I found him reading newspaper. You know, he used to read. My muzee just looked at me and told me, oh, you are Gathoni. You are that small. You are this small. Because, you know, I was a loud girl, but I was very tiny. Now I'm big, at least I am aging. And he asked me, do you have your notes? I said, no, because I was told to come and see you. He said, it's okay. We'll have a chat. He put his newspaper down, asked somebody to serve me tea, and we sat, two of us, for almost 4 hours. And he asked me, what is it that you want us to do? I was accusing him of neglecting IDPs after post-election violence of 2002 or 2008.
2007.
And I told him, Mzee, you know what? Tulikuwa tunapigwa na Moi because we thought Moi does not love us. Now you are our son. We expect you to do 1, 2, 3. Akachukua kalamu na karatasi. Akaita Mudhaura. Tukakaa chini. Tukaandika. Nikaambiwa enda. Nimesikia. And whatever I told that Mzee, respectively, he did at least 60%. He never sent DCI to me. He never sent flying squad to me. He called me for a discussion. Even if I am not good, even if I'm not beautiful, even if I'm not pleasant, what I'm saying, if it is good, take time to listen to what I'm saying.
What lessons did you take from Kibaki from that 4-hour session?
That listening is one good quality of a leader. Listening. And that's what I have become, a listener. Mimi nikienda hapa kwenyu. When I came here, you are not here. The first person I talked to is the person I found at the gate.
Yeah.
Create a rapport with that person. How are you? What's up? How are you doing? Huyu mtu kuna kitu anaweza kukuambia. Hakuna mtu mwingine anaweza kukuambia isipokuwa huyo mtu. Usidharau mtu kwa sababu ni gate man. Usidharau mtu kwa sababu hajachana nywele. Kwa sababu hujui kwa nini kichana haijapatikana kama ya huyu.
Usitake personal.
No, don't take it personal. Usimudharau because probably he's communicating through hairstyle.
Yeah.
Probably there was a problem with the kichana. Probably he has no home. I'm not saying he's homeless. Don't judge people just because I have learned. And that way, even in my politics, imenisaidia sana. Sasa mimi kule ground, watu wako wanaweza kuambia, mimi nikienda ground, jeshi yote, hata yule anakula mogoka ni wangu. You know, me I'm all over with everybody.
Wanafanya vizuri, wana support my home county.
Hata yule jeshi anasemekana ni mkora. Mwingine anakuja ananiambia, kuna mwingine alikuja kwangu kwa ofisi akanipata ninatoka, akaniambia gai madhe unatoka, nikamwambia imagine natoka. Akaniambia si unipatie kitu, nikampatia 200. Aliniambia nipatie pesa iko na heshima.
Yo Moja anatoa 200.
Nipatie pesa iko na nini?
Na heshima.
Na heshima. I told my driver, hold on. I need to talk to this guy. Come. Nikamwambia, heshima ni ngapi? Akaniambia kama 500. Nikamwambia kwa nini? Na hujanilimia, hujaenda shambani yangu nikulipe 500. Aliniambia kwa sababu mimi ni mgonjwa.
Okay.
And akakasirika. Akaniambia mimi ni mgonjwa. Nataka kwenda hospitali. So I took keen interest. Let me tell you, that boy ended up in Mathare for treatment. If I never listened to what he was telling me, kuniambia nipatie pesa iko na heshima, singemuelewa.
Yeah.
Unanielewa? So I've learned to listen, respect. Let me tell you, I am not here to praise myself, but my voters can tell you, you call me, you miss me, I'll get back to you. I return my calls, I listen to my voters. If you're not going to be helped by me, I tell you, hiyo sitaweza. Unanitia harusi, sitakuja hiyo sitaweza. But I will not send you or promise you fake promises. No, that's not Gathoni. And my voters know. By the way, if you come to Githongori, ukuja kwangu kwa ofisi, hutapata raini, hata hutapata mtu kwa reception. Kwangu watu wakujangi kwa reception, kufanya nini? Systems work. If you want bursary, you know where to go. Kama umechomekewa na nyumba, you know where to go. Systems work. If systems work, mimi sitapigwa na mzazi niambiwe mtoto wake hakukula lunch. And I have 29,000 children. If 29,000 parents call me ati chakula haikufika kwa shule, nitafanya nini?
Can't work.
Systems work. Nobody calls me to tell me ati mtoto hakupata chakula. There are systems of reporting.
Okay.
And there are people who are supposed to do that. That's leadership. Kwangu hutakuja kwa ofisi upate reception imejaa watu wakikuja kuona Gathoni. Hapana, because kuna namba mtu anapiga, anajua appointment inaombwa hivi, tunapatanga mheshimiwa wetu hivi. Kuna wale naambia ningojeeni mashinani nikuje. Si wewe ukuje unione, mimi nakuja kwenyu kukuona. So you make systems work. That is why I can do 4 hours of a talk show and my phone is not ringing. Why should it ring?
Very
Kuna wakati
beautiful
wa basari,
systems.
kuna wakati wa mama kia kwenda kutafuta wakongwe tuwapatie unga na godoro, kuna wakati wa wale wamechomekewa, kuna wakati wa kwenda kwa mama, kuna wakati wa kila kitu.
True.
And when I am here in offices, Nairobi, I have time to do my work because I've put systems in my constituency that are working for me.
Okay.
And by the way, those systems are not put by 70-year-old.
Scared people. Of course, the older people wouldn't know.
Systems ni hawa majenzi mnaona hapa na millennials. Wapatie kazi, train vile unataka wafanye. They will do it. They will respectively learn. They take time. I know why people don't like the Gen Zs and the millennials because they are blamed. Sorry, munisomehe, lakini tunawa blame. You are lazy. We say you don't wake up early in the morning. That's okay. We say you are not patient. Of course, Gen Zs are never patient. But you train them. You train them. Huyu kijana wangu wa picha huyu, sometimes tunapigana na yeye sana. But that does not mean kupigana na yeye umfukuze.
Yeah.
Unapigana na yeye analan leo, kesho analan. And you treat them with love. They know, okay, munakosana, but it is because you want them to produce this. So you push them. This government has refused to accommodate the young people. And when they do so, they do that for PR.
Okay. Now that we are there, let me just ask you straight up. This is a whole empowerment program that's spending millions every weekend, which apparently the claim is that we are supporting young people in Boda Boda, I don't know, salons, what. How do you feel about that? And why are we wasting money on the streets rather than putting in
I am a believer
places?
of empowerment myself because I was elected by the fact that I empowered so many families. But my empowerment in the past is very different from what I'm seeing today. I come from a background where I would sit on microphone, I would do my commercial show for 3 hours, and I would dedicate 1 hour to empower somebody's life. So I would ask people to just fundraise, and we collect money and we jenga a house for somebody, furnish it and hand over. I rescued people in Dubai. I rescued people in Saudi Arabia. I rescued people in a hospital in India. I have empowered so many drunkard men into soberness. I have reunited families. I used to have a show where I used to unite families. And through empowerment, of course. Nimejengea watu maboma, nilienda mpaka Embu nikapata familia kaniambia wewe ndio ulitupatia hii 2 acres of land na ukatujengea. And people gave me their votes in almost 1 million votes in 2017. By the way, I don't know whether you know. I am the only woman in Kenya who has ever been given 1 million close votes as a single MP, not a presidential candidate.
That's huge for an MP.
I got 924,000 votes in 2017.
That's a constituency.
When I was vying for women rep.
Oh, okay.
That's the highest number of votes ever any individual has ever garnered in any election in the history of this country. That was Kiambu only. I believe I can get the same amount of votes even outside Kiambu because I have done a lot of empowerment. Sio hii ya platform. Ingine haitangazwi. Let me tell you, 2 weeks ago, I got a WhatsApp message from somebody in Dubai. Akanitumia picha yake. Akaniambia, hi mom. Sikujibu because sikujua najua. Akaniwekea picha ya mtu mzuri amesimama, kijana mzuri amesimama na suti. Akaniambia, I'm sorry to invade your privacy, but my name is so and so, and I have put my picture there for you to see who I am. You may not recognize me, but I'm that boy you collected from the trench in Gatundu North, in Mangu. You took me to a rehab, and after that, you paid my education. I am now working as a banker in Dubai. And I have put for you this image so that I can encourage you. Continue doing good. Wow. I am now married. I have 2 children, and I'm planning to come and see you when I come back to Nairobi.
Well done. Well done, Gathoni.
Let me tell you, that person in Gatundu North never voted for me in 2022 because, of course, I'm elected in Githunguri. But that is the real empowerment. Empowerment is not shouting. It is not showing off. It is doing good. Empowering somebody into a continuity of life. This year, January, I had lunch with a group of 32 young people who went through my education from Form 1 to Form 4, and now they were joining universities. 32 of them. Anybody who I ever paid for school fees and scored a B and above, I had 32. And when I saw those kids talk, how I collected them from their single mothers, others are orphans, others are from children's home, how they went through my Mama Care Foundation, how they got into schools and now they're in university, they are going to university. I saw them cry, I saw them hug me. That to me is empowerment. Today when I receive a call of a woman telling me, thank you, you took care of my son, he's now a man. The other day I was driving in Githunguri, I got somebody stopping my car and I stopped and he told me, ile shop unaona pale, ile duka, ni yule kijana uliokota kwa mtaro kapeleka rehab. Ndio yule ameweka duka pale in a place called in Gewa Ward. Gewa Ward is in my constituency. And I was like, "Hello, you are the one." Akaniambia, "Hey, I sobered up. Wacha nikuitie bibi. Bibi alikuwa amepotea. Wacha nikuitie sasa na watoto." You know, that is to me is empowerment. So this empowerment, I am not so sure whether it is inclusive of those very needy cases. I'm not so sure whether there is an orphan who goes to those empowerment and goes home smiling because they have scholarship in education. I'm not so sure whether there is any homeless person who goes home saying, I have a piece of land now, or I have a home from those empowerments. I'm not so sure. I'm not here to judge, but I'm not so sure. And I rest my case.
That is wisdom. The other day on Twitter, actually I think on Sunday, or was it on Friday, you were flagging desks. And
Yes.
we were so angry as Kenyans because we do not understand the obsession with politicians and flagging projects that are funded by the public or our taxes. Why?
Why are you not angry when you see photos of some constituencies, kids seated on the floor, on the mud? Why are you not mad?
People are actually angry.
No.
Just that, yeah.
I am asking, why are you not mad? Because if you are mad, politicians would not squander money and kids continue sitting on the floor. In some constituencies, in Githunguri hakuna, there is none that sit on the floor. But I'm now replenishing the broken down desks to new ones. I must flag them. And by the way, I'll continue flagging them. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm a politician who is accountable to the people's money. I must tell them what I have done with their money. I must go public and tell them, I spent this amount of money buying desks, and these are the desks. Because they are used to politicians telling them they bought desks, and they are ghost desks. They are not there. Whenever I apply new paint in a class, I must tell my voters, I applied paint. If I built, I'll tell you, I built this class. If I don't do that, the same people who are bashing me on social media telling me that I am showing desks, they will say I did nothing. They will say this woman, she only talks on platforms, but she does nothing. So I have to account for every spoon I buy. Every handkerchief I buy, I must account. And how do I account? How many of you read Auditor General's report to see what Gathoni has done? Have you read mine in the past?
Yours not
Did
yet.
you read your MP's Auditor General's report?
Yes.
Have you
Yes.
told the people what the Auditor General is saying about your MP? Because Kenyans don't read. Then we show them what we are doing. I wish they read. Because if they read Auditor General's report ya Githunguri, I'll be very happy. Because every single shilling for the last 2 years has been accounted for. When I buy desk, I tell people, I bought you desk. Do you know why I have to flag them? Because if I don't flag them, the same head teachers will sell them. You don't understand why I have to take a flag, call all those head teachers together, we flag together for accountability. Because if I don't do that and I order, deliver those desks to that school, they might not reach to that school. Let me tell you, I was a women rep for Kiambu. There is a time the President Uhuru Kenyatta gave us sanitary towels as women reps. Tukaambiwa, all the sanitary towels that are coming to the counties, they go to the county commissioner and the women rep must flag them. We flagged all of them to every school. Flagging them in Kiambu, by the time they're supposed to be getting to Larry, a certain head teacher diverts them to a shop.
Okay, so
Hello? I'm telling you out of my experience. Then I go to the schools and I'm asking, where are the sanitary towels? They never arrived. But I flagged them in Kiambu. I'm told, no. Hazikufika hapa. So you guys, when you start criticizing us, oh, you are flagging desk. What do you want me to do? I want the parent who is on X to see. Hii shule imepatiwa desk 100 na locus 100. Mukienda shule, ulizeni ziko wapi zile desks zilifagiwa, flagiwa. If I don't do that in public, they will disappear.
so it's an accountability affair.
Thank you.
Okay.
Then you people now, you are criticizing, oh, she's not supposed to flag. If I don't flag, How will I be accountable? In fact, you should be clapping for me for accounting, because there are people who say they bought desks, but they never reach anywhere.
Okay, I think you've made that clear. At least now we almost understand.
But also when I allow you to criticize us, continue criticizing us. Continue criticizing us, but please move away from those corners of criticizing. Get into the political parties.
Yes.
Ingieni kwa vyama, chaguliweni kama MPs, kama MCAs. Kujeni tupigane ngumi kwa corridors za siasa. Ndio mtusaidie we shape up. Okay. Let me tell you, if you asked your MP, how many desks have you bought this year? Mwambie aweke kwa X. Mwambie MP wako ama women rep wako aweke zile vitu amenunua, aweke kwa X na flag hivyo. Mfuate mpaka pahali alisema alinunua. Kama alisema ni ya primary fulani, mfuate nyinyi watu wa X nyinyi. Mfuate kama hizo desks zilifika. Then mtanipigia makofi mseme huyu mama was genuinely flagging her desks because she meant well to her people.
Hey, watu wa X, I think we are doing very well. Let's keep up. Let's not stop.
Continue.
The other question would be, do you have to plaster your face? You know,
I don't do my face on the
I actually
on the
saw over I think on Monday or Sunday, someone was donating unga and it has their face and their, I don't know.
Yes, I will tell you this, and I told you I'm from the communication world. For me, Gathoni Wamuchomba is a brand already. I don't have to go shouting that I'm the one who gave the desk and put my name there and my image. The law allows me to brand the desk as a donation from NGCDF, Githunguri Sub-County. I can say patronized by, so that when the parents go for accountability, watatofautisha viti zilinunuliwa na huyu mjumbe na yule aliyekuwa. Unanielewa? So we either write financial year, we can write financial year 2025. Wewe kama umesoma si utajua 2025 ni Wamuchomba hako. Ama tunaandika patronized by Honorable Wamuchomba. I don't put my images even in school, but there are people who put even their pictures even in the gates of schools.
Just tell them we hate it.
No, you don't have to hate it. Get elected.
Okay.
Get elected. Don't hate it.
To have
Get
my
elected.
face.
No.
Okay.
To go and change.
Okay.
You remove the face and put yours there.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Get elected. You guys must get into the spaces. Stop fighting from outside. Get inside.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. And now that we are touching on X, we actually posted that you're coming and asked people if they would have any questions.
Yeah.
So let's see. What was the whole point of flagging desks? I think that you've addressed.
Yes.
The other one.
And I will flag tomorrow. If I buy others, I will still flag.
Okay.
When I open roads, I flag them and I say I have done this road, because there are people who are funded to do roads. They don't flag them and they don't do the roads. So
and
the
they
money
pocket
disappears.
the money.
Yes.
Okay.
So for me, I will continue flagging. By the way, every other road that is done in Githunguri under my patronage, I flag.
Okay.
Every other project that I commission, hata kama ni choo, I go there, I commission and I flag it for accountability, so that people can know what is it that I'm doing with their money.
Okay, if it's for accountability, for me, that makes sense. Again, okay, kindly ask our, okay, desks again, unga packets, basops. Okay, I think that's extreme.
I don't do basops myself.
Okay, let's go to someone. What is she doing to liberate poor youths economically? For example, can she lobby for digital empowerment for TikTokers or digital creators? I think I can read them together because one person sent 3. Can affordable housing program be extended to poor households in villages who are unable to develop their ancestral lands? Plans for... Hey, I love it. Kiambu Governorship. I was going to ask it, but it's already been asked. Yeah, and what you've done with CDF, I think some of you can check on the Auditor General's report. Yeah. And basically those 3.
The most interesting thing is that about the youth empowerment.
Yes.
What are you doing to include the youths and to make sure that they are relevant? Unfortunately, NGCDF money that I work with has very little money for the young people. Very little. Actually, there is none as we speak. There used to be some money for the young people. We used to call it a sports fund. It was a vote head in the kitty of CDF. Lakini William Ruto wakati alichaguliwa, alirecommend hiyo pesa tuitoe kwa michezo, tupande miti.
So mnapanda miti?
Ndio alipo carbon credits. It's very unfortunate. That's the only money we had for the youth.
Okay.
So saa hii, yule ambaye ananiuliza maneno ya youth, aulize mjumbe wake, kwa nini hatuwezi ungana kama MPs, turudishe pesa ya watoto, ya youth. Kiti ya youth irudishwe. Because let me tell you, I don't know whether you follow me on X and on social media. Sundays will get niona na vijana tukicheza boli. I have every Sunday afternoon, once in a while, I used to go to my constituency. Kuna ball inachezwa, nimewanunulia majazi, nimewapatia ball, naenda huko kwa energize, tunapiga mpira na wao, tunacheka. At least all the young people of that village wanakuja pamoja. So that Sunday, hakuna bangi itakunywa, hakuna changa, hakuna maovu, kwa sababu at least they are busy. Now that money is gone. I can't buy jerseys, I can't buy shoes, I had just launched a Githunguri grassroots football. Nilikuwa nimelaunch a very good project na CDF money. Nikachukua watoto wachanga kutoka age ya 8 years to 12 years. Kila shule, I have 56 schools. Every school, nikachukua team moja ya watoto. Nikawanunulia viatu za michezo, uniform na boli mbili. One ball to be played in school, one ball to be played in the village. So that these kids don't, when they go home from school, they don't get idle wanaenda kwa zile cinema, rooms za cinema, zile wanaendaga kuona
DJ Afro.
Asante umenimalizia. They normally go and see. Sometimes they even find themselves watching pornography with the adults. Sometimes wanaenda kwa pool. Hapo ndipo wanajua kuna sigara, kuna bangi, kuna nini. And that project, let me tell you, if it was supported, would have come up with a whole 1,000 footballers. Because my population was about 856 young boys.
So huge.
And then, of course, we have the, what do you call them? Wale hawachezi lakini ni wana replace. Wanaitwa aje?
Technical bench, I don't know.
Reserve. Wale wanawekangwa substitutes, yes.
Oh.
So, hiyo figure ingefika 1,000. You can imagine a constituency producing 1,000 footballers trained. Every village nilikuwa nimechukua coach, nimemnunulia tracksuit na viatu. Every village nilitrain referees. Nikachukua pesa ya CDF, nikatrain referees. Every village. Ndio referees na huu coach watengeneze hiyo team waigrow. In 5 years, what would I have in Githunguri?
An amazing
Great energy, talents. Pesa ilienda na miti.
Okay, maybe from where he's asking, because he or she is talking about lobbying, this could be even in parliament, laws that can help TikTokers and digital creators make...
We have the law. The law is there. We make the law and then we retrogress with finance bill. Tunatengeneza sheria mzuri sana. By the way, for records, I am one of those that were critical in the making of the ICT bill, the Data Protection Bill. I did it from 2017 all the way to 2020. And the bills to protect content creators and creative industry is there. The law is there. They have everything. But we are retrogressing by introducing clauses of amending the same data protection. Attacking the incomes that the content creators are making, the entertainment industry are making, the kekobas of this world, kekobos. So I think the problem is, like I said, it's politics. Because if a proposal is done by the executive minister, for example, of ICT, that he wants to take 5% holding tax for content creators, and nobody fights back, nobody says no, usiguze hiyo. Nobody lobbies and says no, tumekata kama wabunge. Gathoni akiongea peke yake halafu. Like hiyo ya data protection mnajua nilipigana, muliniona? Nilipigana sana nikasema I made this law. I will not allow finance bill 2025 ikuja iharibu ile sheria nilitengeneza 2020. Na nikasema invading people's privacy, information, personal information in the name of tax is out of order. Na nikateta kwa TikTok, I'm sure you saw. Nilileta shida mpaka kwa bunge, mpaka wakanisikia. So I think all I'm talking about boils down to the quality of leadership. What quality of MP do you have? Why did you elect him or her? What are they doing? Mimi nafikiria hata hii maneno ya William Ruto kuvamia HELB na kuleta hiyo band system, hiyo banding. Kama tulikuwa na wabunge serious, hiyo haingefanyika.
That I agree.
Haingefanyika. Do you know inaniuma sana my sister nikienda Githunguri nikiuliza amongst a crowd, nani ali drop out of school hapa from university? Unaona mikono juu. Watoto wetu wame drop out of university. Wengi. This year, watoto wale walikuwa wamepata marks za kwenda university. Majority of them are not going to university. Waliogopa. And then we call ourselves MPs and we are calling ourselves lawmakers. I feel very frustrated sometimes.
We are more frustrated as Kenyans.
I feel very frustrated when I see ills of this government being rubber stamped by people who are supposed to be the gatekeepers on behalf of Mwananchi. For example, you saw when we had adulterated fertilizer. I went again on TikTok. I made a lot of noise. I personally bought that fake fertilizer, ya kahawa. And when we went to parliament, I saw members sympathizing with Rinturi. Wengine wana sympathize na president. Ati tupatieni rais nafasi. Atarekebisha wakati kuna mkulima harvest chakula na hiyo ndio tegemeo yake. The only source of income in a homestead, it is that farm yenye umewekea fertilizer mbaya, mbovu. So I feel frustrated, but there's nothing I can do. My people keep telling me, Gathoni, it's not time to hang your boots. Fight from inside.
Yeah, you have to fight.
Fight from inside. Don't hang your boots. Fight from inside.
Even as who are not from Githunguri will tell you have to fight.
Utafukuzwa kwa chama. Nilitolewa kwa komiti zote. Sasa mimi niliwekwa kwa komiti ya kupika chai kule bunge. Komiti ambayo akili ya Gathoni mzuri inaweza tumika, sitakikani, ndio nisiende kuuliza maswali. What kind of system is this?
It is very unfortunate.
Do you know I have a degree in communication?
Yeah.
I have a degree in education. I am doing PhD. I have done 5 special courses on environmental management. I'm a professional disaster manager expert. I am a professional environmental impact assessor and auditor from Wangari Maathai Institute, University of Nairobi, with clear papers. I am trained on many things. But the only thing I can be allowed to do in parliament is to go and cook tea in parliament. Akili kama hiyo yote unanipeleka kwa kitchen, ndio unifrustrate nisiongee. Yet people who cannot even write a sentence in English, wamewekwa kwa committees za land, critical, education and health. And you want me to shut up? I will speak to the end. Wangari Maathai told me, she was my mentor, she told me, speak because God gave you a mouth to speak. Because if trees had a mouth, they would speak and say how we misuse them, how we violate them. Tunakojolea miti, tunamwagia poison, haiongei. Lakini Gathoni sababu uko na mdomo, speak to your grave.
Ongea mahesho si nyamaze.
And I know the spirit of Wangari Maathai is not dead.
Because we see it.
I know she watches me.
Yeah.
I know she watches my moves. I know she watches my move because she told me, Gathoni, speak because you have a mouth. Because if trees had a mouth, they would speak out on how we violate them.
Great. Kiambu Governor, 2027. It's now or never. He wants to speak. We said you speak.
Wangari Maathai, I get teary,
It's understandable.
Yeah. I am not speaking about 2027. I know people have a lot of expectations, probably from me, I don't know, but I hear, kuna pahali naenda nasikia hivi na hivi, lakini for now, I want you to allow me to do an introspection, to strategize, to evaluate, and I'll make a decision on what I want. I am not going to speak about what I want to become in 2027. I am that one leader who doesn't speak about 2027. I have never spoken. Even in 2017, I never told people where I am going. They just saw me launch my campaign for Githunguri.
Okay.
When time comes, I'll announce.
When the time is right.
For
like
now,
God says.
my business is whether my coffee farmers are getting paid.
Okay.
For now, my business is to make sure women deliver in dignity. For now, my business is to fight for my children to access university education affordably. For now, I'll call out land grabbers in the name of affordable housing. For now, I'll call government looters in the name of budgeted corruption. For now, I'll call out money launderers who are laundering money in this country in the name of empowerment. I will call them out. That's my business.
And you're doing good at it and keep at it. We
and
really
keep criticizing me.
We will.
Keep criticizing me. The only way to make me a brand, the only way to make me strong is to tell me this is not right. I justify right or wrong.
Yeah, and you also take lessons.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the only way to learn.
Okay, what are the 3 biggest lies politicians tell during campaigns?
Lies.
Yes.
3
biggest. You are one, so.
I have never lied. And I want you to pin me down on anything I ever lied on. Please tell them to pin me down. I have never. Let me tell you, when I was a small child, my mother pinched me for not eating sugar because I love sugar. but for lying that I did not eat sugar. She never pinched me because of eating sugar, but for lying that I did not eat sugar. So I learned lying is wrong. Even now in my constituency, when I mean I will do something, I will do it. Ask my voters.
Okay.
But if
there's
I
a question
cannot,
in line with that, sorry.
But if I cannot be able to do anything, uniambie nijenge choo sitaweza, nakwambianga hapo, hiyo sitaweza. Mheshimiwa nataka ukuja harusi yangu, nakwambia hapana, hiyo sitaweza. Sitakwambia nitakuja, alafu sitafanya. That's not Gathoni.
Okay. So in line with that,
Yes.
what you're addressing, which promise did you make but you failed to fulfill, but you're asking for more time or resources to fulfill it?
None.
Of course, for Githunguri.
None.
Oh, you've done everything for Githunguri?
None. Everything I told my people I'm going to do, I have done.
Wow.
Ask my voters. Ask them there.
So what are you going to do for the 2 years?
I am actually now strategizing on how to make 2027 a more impactful election for me. I told them I'm going to feed their children. I'm feeding them.
Yeah.
I promised police stations. By the way, for record, I'm the only MP in Kiambu County that has done 11 police stations in 2 years. I promised, whatever I promised. The only thing I can say I have promised and I'm yet to deliver, it's when I go to school and I'm told, we need Cabro here. Wameniambia sahi.
Okay.
I tell them, wait for the next financial year, we'll look for money. I go to school, I'm told, roof is leaking. I had not seen it. It was not brought to my attention. I didn't know it was leaking or it has just started leaking. I tell them, wait for the next financial year, I'm going to do that. But anything I pledged, I'm going to do. Anything. In my capacity, I have delivered.
Wow.
Ask them.
Beautiful. The people of
Githunguri,
you can tell us in the comment section.
The first thing I will do when I'm elected, I'm gonna get to those coffee factories and I'm going to sort it out. Let me tell you, you don't know the fight I fought. I fought with cartels on coffee
For
matters.
coffee, yeah.
Oh, I fought. They threatened me. They took me to court. I stood my ground. And there are results. When I was elected, I told them, mimi nikiwa last parliament, I promised, when I was campaigning, hii barabara ya Duberi Magomano, ilikuwa mbaya sana. I told them, I will go and camp at Ruto's desk until anipatie pesa ya kutengeneza hiyo barabara. I was the first person to do tarmac on that road. For me, whatever I told them on the podium, the only thing that I told them on the podium was that William Ruto is going to deliver his part. He has failed me. That is why I'm mad. Whatever Ruto promised in my constituency when I was there, milk kuras, I will bring. He has never brought. He told us, I'm going to make sure that we construct a market at Ikino Shopping Center. I will personally come, partner with the governor to nunue shamba, to get market. He has never done. I will finish Githunguri level 5 hospital. He has never finished. Whatever he promised in Githunguri, none has ever come to fruition.
Were you convinced that these things he was promising were not part of the budget? So
they were part of the budget, Mama.
They were part of the budget?
Forgive me. They were part of the budget.
Okay.
When Ruto was elected, became president, Githunguri level 5 hospital was already funded to 90%. 90. All he needed is to come and add the 10% and finish.
Okay.
Hello?
Makes sense. I thought they were the promises.
No. The only
gave.
promise that probably was not funded, which was not directly under him, it is under the governor, it is to source for land to build Ikino market. But milk coolers, for heaven's sake, nobody asked him. He's the one who promised. And there was a program called Milk Revitalization Program under the National Government Ministry of Cooperative. And it was funded under milk and coffee. 425 million. When he was elected, the first thing he did was to divert that money.
So let me ask, when something is part of the budget,
Yes.
It's usually planned for.
Yes.
So where does this money hang? Because it seems it's in the budget, means the money was there.
The money was allocated, but the PS of the ministry can write a letter to Treasury and ask for reallocation.
Oh, so it's switched to other things.
Which is irregular and unconstitutional. Because any reallocation is supposed to be brought back to Parliament for confirmation. But this government has the audacity of reallocate money without consulting Parliament. And that is why we are actually... Do you know, somebody asked me the other day, a friend of mine, who is also a friend of Ruto, asked me, Gathoni, by the way, why is Ruto having a lot of problems? I thought Ruto was a more finer in terms of how he does things than Uhuru and Kibaki. Why is Ruto having problems? Ama it's because he's a Kalenjin. Nikamwambia kwenda huko. What are you telling me? You people have refused to actually accept that Ruto is the problem. Because Ruto has refused to accept that he is the president, but he is not the minister of finance. He is the president, but he is not the PS. He has actually become even the headmaster of schools. He is the doctor, he's the headmaster, he's the PS, he's the minister, he's the president, he is everything. And that is why there's all this mess. You cannot wake up in the morning and tell PS SMEs and cooperatives, hey, nilienda Wajia, I promised women groups wa Wajia some money, can you look for some money uwatumie? What do you expect that PS to do? Na umemwambia na wewe ndi bosi yake? Atachokora hiyo allocation, atatoa pesa hapa, aandike barua treasury, atumie hawa mama. Hata hii pesa unasikia ni ya ghost schools, ni yeye amepatiana instructions.
You're sure?
I am sure, and I want somebody to take me to court tomorrow. Do you know how I'm saying that? On record, Ruto stood on top of his vehicle, akiwa president, I think 2 months after election. Bomet. Akasema ninajua hamuna Bomet secondary school. Mungetaka tujenge? Nitawatafutia 50 million, mujenge Bomet high school. Go in the records ya ghost schools. Which school is stopping with 50 million?
It was Bomet.
Ni Bomet. It means ni yeye mwenyewe alipromise 50 million, hakuna pahali angetoa 50 million. Ni aende pesa ya capitation, apatiane instructions, andikeni pesa itumwe Bomet High School, ikatumwa kwa hiyo shule ingine inaitwa sijui Kaplong ama sijui inaitwa aje. Kuna shule ilitumiwa hiyo pesa as the mother host of the school. Alafu sasa nyinyi mnapiga makelele huko mkisema ati ghost schools. Ni wao tu wana create ghost schools.
Whoa.
So somebody asking me, why is Ruto having problems in governance, yet he's finer than Uhuru and Kibaki? It is his own shortcomings.
Okay.
I cannot sit here as an MP for Githunguri and mtu anipigie simu aniambia nataka basari, nimwambie ni utapewa aje na kuna structures. I can't tell you nitakupea basari on phone. All I can tell you, if you are a voter in Githunguri and you have a need, ile wakati tutatangaza basari, uende ufanye the process as required by the law. Alafu ugoje, because everybody in Githunguri gets basari. Everybody who applies gets basari. Because we have a system that we use to equate everybody. We share money, huyu akona shida, huyu anakona shida, wao wengine tuwapatie hii pesa, yote iende kwa kila mtu. Kwangu huwezi ona watu wakipigana wakati wa basari, ati forms kwangu hazipiganiwi. Hakuna mufinyano wa watu. We are many but we share in a peaceful, organized, systematic way. So ukiona Ruto akiwa na problems, see, the problem is him as a person because he has refused to allow people to function. Kuna mtu aliongea Kibaki 2002, sijui, I don't know how old you are, or these people. 2002 Kibaki gave a speech. Go and dig out, you will find it. When he was elected, he said, I am very happy to be president of Kenya. And I want to be that president who gives somebody a job and that person goes home knowing they have a job. And he said, I want to be like Jomo Kenyatta, who gave us jobs and we went home knowing we have jobs. Because he never ever called me as a minister wa pesa yake kuniamurisha vile nitafanya kazi. That small clip is circulating. It is there in circulation. What did Kibaki mean? He meant previously before achaguliwe kulikuwa na president. Alikuwa anaitwa nani? Moi alikuwa anafanya kazi kwa simu, kuamurisha. Kibaki amechaguliwa, akatoa Moi. Alisema mimi nataka kuwa huyo president mwenye nitapea mtu kazi, aende nyumbani akiwa anajua
he has a job.
Sahi, these cabinet ministers and PSs, wasikudanganye.
They work on call.
They work under intimidation. Na sio hata from the president, from people purporting to be using powers of the presidency. Kuamurisha PSs and ministers, cabinet secretaries, vile wanataka. And I'm not saying this as an outsider. I'm saying it as an insider because I know even how they talk and how they behave and how they threaten each other. You cannot run a home through intimidation. You run through dialogue and consultations. Since I started complaining about Kenya Kwanza government, nobody has ever called me to ask me, Gathoni, what's the issue? Nobody has ever. All they do is to threaten me, come to my constituency, bash me, talk about me wherever, isolate me, mistreat me. Nobody has ever come to ask this woman, who is as educated as I said, and they know it, who knows what she's talking. Even if I'm talking 20%, that 20%, where's it cost a 5% inaweza kukusaidia?
Yeah.
You cannot govern people through kifua. You can only govern people by consultation.
And we are fighting
Call me
for
and ask
that.
me, Gathoni, you're so passionate about coffee. What's the problem with coffee? I've written 3 letters to Oparanya, Minister for Cooperatives, concerning the DSS. 3 letters. I even physically attended his meeting in Duberi and I told him, Waziri, hii haiwezi fanya kazi. But they are continuing to do the same thing. Nawambia haiwezi fanya kazi. Na mimekuwa kwa kahawa tangu 1999. I have been in coffee corridors. 1999 when I was a broadcaster. Na nilizaliwa kwa boma iko na kahawa. Nimechuna kahawa. Nimeuza kahawa. Nimesafa kwa kahawa. I know coffee in and out. Oparanya kwao hakuna kahawa. Yeye hana kahawa. Amekuja ministry ya cooperative. Amepata mashida ya kahawa. Gathoni ambaye anamwambia hii si mzuri. Nimemwandikia mpaka barua official. Waziri, hii and hii si mzuri. Lakini nobody can ever want to consult you because they think you know nothing. That attitude cannot make you a leader.
So we must have an attitude change.
They make you a laughing stock, yet they are the laughing stock. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's a problem. Kenya Kwanza regime must change their attitude.
Okay, change of attitude.
For example,
I think
let
that
me
is
ask
felt
you,
by a lot
what
of
is so
citizens.
difficult? What is so difficult to say? Okay, young people, Gen Z, mumeenda kwa barabara, tumepigana na nyinyi. Poleni sana, tumewakosea. Poleni sana. Si kama tumewakosea, hapana, tumewakosea. Mumekufa, mumeumizwa, muko kwa mahospitali kama baba yenyu, nasema pole. Njooni hapa tuongee. Hiyo conclave ya generational conclave, chukueni. Endeni mujadiliane, mkuje mniletee memorandum. Every county nendeni mujipange kama vijana. Na apatiane commissioner, apigie makomishona waambie hizo conclave za vijana sitaki mtu ambaye amepitisha miaka 45. Hiyo conclave muende wapatie vijana security, wapewe chakula, wapewe kila kitu wanataka. Waingie kwa hizo town halls, waongee wao wenyewe, wakuje na memorandum of understanding between us themselves. What is so difficult?
Nothing.
What is so hard?
Nothing.
Naambie hao pate leader hao wazee na akina Gathoni, nyinyi kaeni kando. Wacheni hao watoto wajadiliane, wakubaliane, wakuje waniambie vile wanataka. What is so difficult?
It's not, and I think actually us going to the streets, it was clear what we want. But then again, it's not. There's one more question before I forget about this. Ask Honorable Wamuchomba, yes, if she were to liberate Kenyans from one thing, what could it be? Number 2, can she gift the black beret? Someone by the name Leo someone.
Leo.
Yes.
Leo, what I will do, I'll let him inbox you.
Yes.
Then I'll buy a new one and send it over because this one is too old. Or anataka mafuta yangu na perfume yangu.
Who knows? Maybe.
I'll organize. If they want an old one, then I can give them this one. But
Okay.
I would prefer that I buy a new one.
Great.
That's one. 2,
Yes.
if I was to liberate, take it again.
If you were to liberate, it's disappeared. 1 second. If she were to liberate Kenyans from one thing, what could it be?
Poverty.
Poverty.
Yes.
All right.
And unemployment, of course. And I'll make sure that every village has a cottage industry.
I think there you have it. Fox.
And if I come up with a cottage industry in every village, all these young people who have the skills will be accommodated. Let me tell you. I went to Morocco. You know, Morocco is a very strong economy.
Yes.
And it's an African country.
Yes.
You know, nobody is jobless in Morocco. Nobody is jobless. Can I repeat? Nobody is jobless. Even a 14-year-old girl has a job and has an income. Nobody is homeless. Everybody has a house from the government. What is so special about Morocco? They are desert. We are not desert. How are they doing it and we can't do it and they're just here? Morocco is a center for crafts. Every expensive kettle, ya chai, comes from Morocco. Every expensive mat, table mat za kukalia, comes from Morocco. What is so special about them? It's a desert, by the way. Hawana cash crop isipokuwa tu hizo teas, herbal tea zao. Hawana cash crop. Na hizo, by the way, they are just desert herbs. Desert herbs. It's a desert and every tree has water. Every tree you see standing has an irrigation drip. What is so special about them? Because they decided to erode politics and concentrated on empowering themselves through cottage industry. Let me tell you, every village in Morocco has a cooperative society of a certain crafts that they are managing in that region. When I mean craft, I mean nguo. Nguo zao zote zinatengenezwa huko. They only import materials of a certain quality. They control quality. So materials ikikuja, embroidery, beading, everything that is done, including kushona, everything. At the most expensive suit, they don't import anything in Morocco in terms of fabric, except raw garment. So if you want a trouser, they make for you. If you want whatever but they do everything. So there are cooperatives that does buttons. There are cooperatives that does zips. There are cooperatives that does embroidery. There are cooperatives that does every other bit of the production chain. You go to the kitchen. Every cup, every plate, every sufuria is made in Morocco, for Morocco. What do we do here? Go to State House. Every plate is from London. Come to my house, my cooking pots from Italy. When will that tradesperson who has done trades in a technical university ever use his degree? If I buy plates from Italy? When will that tailor person, fashion and design girl, who I sponsored to go to Nibs College, ever make for me a dress if I buy a dress from London? Hii imetengenezewa pale Githurai, hii ni ya Githurai. This is a fundi called Maureen who makes for me in
Fundi ako sawa.
Okay? Why are we allowing ourselves to ride in the cycle of poverty, yet we have an opportunity to close our market and only produce for ourselves and give these boys a job? Look at this room. What is made in Kenya here? Curtains, tripod, microphone, this table, this chair, this light. What is made in Kenya here? We are slaves of other economies. Why have we made Kenya a consumption country instead of a production country? If I ever become president, I will introduce cottage industry in every village. Baringo, munazalisha nyama ya mbuzi na asali. Let us make raw processing of honey at the backyard of every home. Nitengenezeni hiyo asali hata kama bado iko na uchafu, nitachukua, niipeleke kwa factory kubwa, nitaiosha, nitapack as product of Kenya. Kwetu kahawa, why do we have our coffee being sold in Switzerland? By the way, do you know Switzerland is the number one exporter of coffee they don't plant? They don't even have a single tree of coffee in Switzerland. But their economy is 10 times bigger than our economy, supported by our coffee. We should be embarrassed of ourselves. If I became president, I will make sure every household brews their own coffee. They take half of the coffee, they brew, we sell in local hotels. Any hotel that serves our local coffee, we subsidize taxes for them so that they can sell our coffee. And then the remainder, we pack all the coffees made in Kenya. And we make Kenya a hub of Kenyan trade in Africa. In fact, I would open our port, free port for coffee, free port. Moroccans wananunua kahawa ya Italy wakuja hapa because they are in Africa, but instead of coming to Kenya, they go to Italy. Can you imagine? They leave our coffee here, they go to Italy to buy coffee. I would make our port free port to make sure that Kenya is a hub for coffee. We are already a travel hub. Kenya is a travel hub for Africa. If we can afford to have a travel hub for Africa, why can't we make it a coffee hub?
Yeah, because agriculture is huge generally.
Gathoni will make it.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Gathoni, we are watching.
I am going to make sure every county produce a product through cottage industry. That's the only way I'll stop putting people into airplanes and take them to Qatar, take them to Dubai, to wherever, to become slaves there. They will be their own employers. Let me ask you a question. What would happen if we closed our borders and said, today, any trader dealing with ceramic, if you don't sell our local made ceramic, close your shop? Today we just decide any cup, any plate, any spoon, any kettle we are using in our homes, locally made. Nyinyi vijana, nendeni mutafute njia za kutengeneza, tutawanunulia. You want to tell me these boys will not make?
People will make. People actually still make.
Yani tumeenda mpaka toothpick. Tunaleta from China. We have not made any toothpick for our domestic use. Mpaka toothbrush. I went to this country called, where was I last? Sharjah, Dubai. In a hotel where I was, toothbrush were made from recycled material in Dubai. Ile makaratasi nini, toothbrush, wametengeneza recyclable toothbrushes. Na wanakwambia hapo, this is a recycled toothbrush. Free of charge. Unapewa free of charge. Because the hotel is paying for you. What is so difficult for us to say, okay, we cannot afford those heavy material, but because tuko na mbao sahi, tutengenezeni toothbrushes za mbao. Wouldn't, because we have mbao.
Yeah.
Na tuseme no more importation of
Plastics of toothbrush.
Because it's non-biodegradable. What is so difficult? What is so difficult, my sister? What is so difficult? That we cannot have a brand of our own meat as Kenya. Kenya Meat Commission inaenda hivi. Yet in Dubai, getting Kenyan beef is a story. Kenyan goat in Arabian country is a story. It is so expensive you can't even afford it. Lakini buzi zetu zimekaa huku, zimejaa huku. Ukienda Tharaka Nithi kuna buzi nyingi sana. Ukienda Baringo, buzi nyingi sana. Turkana, we just can't do it. What is
That
so
is
difficult?
why we want people like you to get into the top leadership of this country.
I am going to make an economy of cottage industry. I'm going to revive production. And Kenya is going to be a production country, not a consumption country.
That would be great.
And I'm going to make use of the young people because they are the people trained to do that. Let me give you a good example. Pardon me if I go out of the box, but University of Nairobi, School of Food and Food Science, they have serious researchers who have researched for decades. New varieties of wine, new variety of jam, new variety of butter, new variety of varieties of wine using tea, using bananas, using apples, using mangoes. But if you go to all our joints where me and you go in the evening, we consume wine from Australia, from South Africa. What's wrong with us? What's wrong with us? You want to tell me we can't use our own bananas? Do you know what is our post-harvest loss for bananas? Post-harvest loss ni kusema ile mandizi ambayo inapoteanga, ikiiva, ipelekwe soko, haijanunuliwa, inawekwa kwa dustbin. Yesterday I was watching a show in Nakuru County on their circular economy. And the guy, Dr. Mara, who sounded very intelligent, said out of their waste, they collect in Nakuru County as a county. Out of all their waste, 76% of their waste is biodegradable. Ni waste ya soko. Maganda ya madizi, maganda ya cabbage. Do you know what that means literally? If you spoke to some countries like America, that is wealth.
Yeah.
But to us is a problem. Yet we can actually employ thousands in that biodegradable waste. So we invest, we put money for researchers in universities, like what I've said. They have already produced a wine. Like in my house, I already have 2 bottles of wine from Food Science University of Nairobi. The researchers produced that wine, and all they needed is the government of Kenya to facilitate investment for that wine. The raw material is here, scientists are here, all we need is capital. Instead of putting 2 billion in empowerment, dishing people like this, why can't you take that 1 billion and put up an industry for that nature? Employ so many young people in aggregation of mangoes, processing of mango, cleaning of mango, planting of mangoes, and all these young people who are giving you problems in Kariobangi and Mathare and Githunguri, they will have some work. So we have refused to agree, to think, and to consult. Now, I know you want to ask me, what have you done you as a person?
Yes.
You. I've told you I've sorted out coffee in my constituency. I'm sorting bananas. God willing, Mungu akinisaidia kwa unyenyekevu wa Mungu. January next year, I want my kids in Githunguri to eat a banana from their mother's farm. not directly, but hiyo banana inunuliwe kutoka kwa mama, iive, ipelekwe kwa shule mtoto akule. Money circulates like this.
Yeah.
There is no single home in Githunguri that doesn't have at least 1 or 2 banana trees. Hizo banana zikiwekwa ziive, zinakulangwa nusu, hiyo ingine inapotea. Why can't we make banana wine? What is so difficult in making banana wine? Because we have refused to think, bunge tumeweka sheria za kuzuia tutengeneze banana wine. Ati for you to make banana wine, you must have this, you must have this, you must have this, you must have this, you must have this. Ukiangalia unasema, wacha ikae. Huyu kijana anakaa bila kazi, anaanza kutusumbua. Can't you just open up and say, anybody who is going to make any wine from raw materials, like pineapples, we have them, bananas, we have them, cassavas, we have them, nyanyas, tomatoes, we have them, is going to enjoy this protection from the government. What is so difficult?
There's nothing actually difficult. I just think we have systems that
I was reading about
move.
Australia. Australia, especially the southern part of South Australia, their key cash crop is wine. I was reading how they started it, and I felt very frustrated as a leader. Because they just agreed. No more bottlenecks for anybody who is willing to plant vines for
Grapes.
berries. For berries. They actually even promoted and said anybody who plants these many vines will enjoy these benefits from the government. So everybody planted. If today you told us anybody who is willing to process anything and prove that you're processing at your backyard, cottage industry, process honey, tuonyeshe hii ni wewe umetengeneza, we will give you this as a government. Anybody who processes anything, as long as it is value addition, we are going to give you this. Wewe enda ufikirie vile utafanya. Ukitaka tukusaidie na experts wa science, tuko na wao University of Nairobi, tuko na wao KU, tuko na wao, wamejaa, wamekaa idle.
Na JKUAT.
Wamejaa. Center of innovations in every university, they are idle and defunded, no money. They are not funded by the government because the government is tired of funding and nothing is happening. But we can't blame them. It is us. I've told you, University of Nairobi has wines that has stayed unimplemented innovation, ready product for 10 years.
That's really sad.
I was a student at Wangari Maathai Institute for my NEMA training, professional training. I went through all what the center has done. The kind of innovation that has been done by the university, nobody picks it up. Nobody encourages investors to come and pick them up. We just sit and say, tumepanga, tumetenga, tutafanya, and nothing happens. That's why the Gen Zs are getting frustrated, because they have no patience to, wait for us.
Also not seeing things move.
Yes.
Very sad.
So I am that one person
thank
who,
you very
if
much
given
for
an
coming.
opportunity,
Yes.
I am not going to just sit and talk. I am just going to do things. And let me tell you, people don't like me. Historically, wherever I work, people don't like me because I'm a very strict person. When I mean I am moving this wall, I move it. Injuries will come, I'm ready. But when I mean to move the wall, I move it.
It will be moved.
It has to be done.
And that
this
is what we
country
need.
is not going to be fixed by people who are working in Qatar or next. People who are working in Australia as our slaves. I call them slaves. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
If you get affected, please forgive me. But that's a reality. We didn't give you our degree to go and grow other economies. We gave you our degree so that you can help us. One day, one time, this country is going to be on its feet, not on its knees. Kenyans are going to pump their chest and say, we have done it. We have sustained our livelihoods, we have educated our children, and we are proud to be Kenyans. Sahi, hata wale wako nje, they are not proud to be Kenyans because they read negative stories, negative complaints, negative. One day they will say we belong to Kenya.
And that Kenya is what we are fixing.
Proudly.
Yes.
And we are not living in this country.
And these conversations, we have to keep talking.
Yes.
Because this is what will push us to that level.
Like now, yesterday I was asking somebody, because I'm thinking very critically about value addition. I was asking somebody, in this office of yours, wherever there are ladies, including me, look at our head. What is it that we are wearing? You want to tell me that for every 10 women, 9 or 8 are wearing synthetic hair? This is a threat to the environment. Even if it is human hair, very few can afford human hair. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay? What is so difficult for us to plant sisal, do our hairpiece from sisal? What is so difficult? If Muzungu planted sisal and made gunias, because he was not interested in long hair. Sisi, we are interested in long hair. What is so difficult in planting sisal? And say we are going to make our hairpiece from sisal? What is so difficult from removing these hairs from banana fiber? What is so difficult? What is so difficult that we can't do? That we have to wait for containers from China full of these plastic hairs. Containers come from China packed with goods. They go empty. In fact, when they have nothing to take back to China, wanatuzianga hizo containers to fabricate zikuwe nyumba zetu. What a shame. Ati tunanunua containers za China zenye zilikuja na mizigo, tunazifanya sasa hizo ndizo nyumba zetu. Kwa sababu hatuna kitu tunaweza weka ndani tupeleke China.
Very unfortunate. Mahesh, we have to end it at this.
And that is why I'm saying I am the woman.
And we are
for the job.
You are the woman for the job, and we are supporting you. We all want to live in that Kenya.
Yes,
to be very sincere. Everyone wants a good Kenya. Thank you so much for coming
You are
through.
welcome.
Maybe just closing remarks to our viewers in a minute.
So I've already concluded. I've said I'm the woman for the job. I'm going to do it when I'm given the opportunity. I have all it takes to be a leader in this country. I am one of that person who doesn't believe in tribalism. I know people see us because we have names called Wamuchomba. They think that we stamp, all we do is to stamp tribalism. I am that person, even in parliament. I am very sociable. I relate with all other people. I associate with all other people. I advocate for equality across the board, because I believe there is no half Kenyan, there is no full Kenyan. We are all Kenyans. Na Kenya ni moja. And we don't have another Kenya. If we tear down this country, we all burn in it. It's our business to make sure that we don't burn Kenya. We build Kenya, not burning Kenya. We must make sure we invest in building Kenya, not burning Kenya down.
Fantastic. That's a very nice place to end it. One Kenya, let's all build it. And this is all we have. Thank you for watching Fanya Mambo Africa today. We'll catch you on the next episodes.